Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. Chapter 176. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Boss. What are you talking about? Ninetails Demon Fox lost his mind for a while, but didn't even hear what Chen Luo was talking about. I said you are very strong. Very strong. Ninetails Demon Fox heard the words and said with a treacherous smile, the boss is complimenting me. Right. The tail beast with cannons in front and the means used by the backbone of naval headquarters instantly rushed together. Garp's extra-large shells exploded directly after hitting the tail beast cannons, and huge energy spread directly to the surroundings. Suddenly, the other 6 huge tail beasts were also ignited by the explosion and exploded. Boom 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. The flames soared into the sky, and the temperature of the surrounding air instantly rose to a terrifying point. And the sea surface, under the intense heat, the cold sea surface turned into a piece of boiling water, gurgling and bubbling, even the dead sea kings radiated. There was a smell of being cooked, and the surrounding seas were filled with a smell of meat. The explosion is still going on, the temperature of the hot flame is already terrifying, and the temperature in the center has surpassed the temperature of the lava. Boom 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 boom. One by one lava fists smashed down quickly, directly smashing the earth-shattering fireball into a big hole, and then, in everyone's surprised eyes, healed together. As the lava entered, the temperature rose sharply. Sakazuki, stop attacking. Your lava attack is invalid. Sengoku's face was gloomy and hurriedly advised. Asshole. Sakazuki also saw that after his meteor volcano fell, the flames rose even more, completely out of control. Aokiji. Sengoku released a shock wave and shouted directly. Understood. Aokiji nodded. Advertisement. Water overpowers fire. And ice can restrain the flame even more. What? So hot. So hot. I'm going to explode. I'm going to jump into the sea. Don't jump. The sea is boiling. You can only be boiled to death if you jump down. Countless Marines were sweating profusely, and the fire blazed to the sky. The 20 warships were shining red, and even some wooden structures have begun. Smoke and burn. The skins of the Marines were also extremely hot, naked and exposed, and they were blushed and burned severely. Freezing time. Aokiji's figure flashed, and an icicle spread from his feet, and then he fell along the icicle onto the sea surface. The surrounding water was gurgling and bubbling, and then, Aokiji's hands continued to explode strongly. The cold air that can instantly freeze people sprayed onto the sea. Suddenly, the boiling water slowly stopped, and then a block of ice emerged. Then, the ice block rapidly expanded outward, densely dense, endless. In the blink of an eye, the sea where the 20 warships were located was covered with a thick layer of ice. The depth can reach tens of meters. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. A blast of cold invades the human body. Whew, so comfortable. Ah, cool. Lieutenant General Aokiji. You are awesome. The surrounding temperature dropped rapidly. Even if it was too hot, I had already jumped off the warship, and my whole person was lying on the ice to offset the heat in my body. At this time, 30 meters away from the 20 warships, the flame dragons opened their mouths and rushed directly towards them. If their warships were hit, Marine would at least have more than half of the casualties. Tempest kick. At this moment, the old man with beige hair flashed up, his right foot flickered in the void, and a circular chopping wave flashing with golden light swept toward the sea. Advertisement. Boom. A monstrous water jet burst out suddenly, and the slashing wave slashed down, raising the outer seawater several tens of meters, and a water layer like a waterfall rushed towards the flame dragon. At this moment, Aokiji's mind moved. Both hands burst out with an astonishing amount of cold air. After the two white cold air collided with the sea, the huge sea layer cut by the beige-haired old man was directly frozen by Aokiji. Then, the flames roared and hit hard. Above the ice layer, the thick ice instantly turned into countless pieces of dust, and it was shattered by the impact. However, under this resistance, the originally domineering and fierce flame suddenly lost 7/10 of its power. 3600, Shinigami Tornado. The arm of the old man with the sword shook, and the shadow of the sword flickered. Then, a Shinigami tornado whizzed out, carrying a huge and amazing sea water, and rushed away. Shave. Moonwalk. Aokiji was by the side. When the flames collided with the Shinigami tornado, two huge icicles emerged from his hands and pierced directly into the Shinigami tornado. In an instant, the Shinigami tornado was swept by a large amount of sea water. It instantly turned into an icicle, and at the same time it was cut by the sword gas. It directly rushed into the depth of the flame like a needle, and then the entire flame was wiped out. Call. Seeing that the flame dragon was destroyed, everyone felt relieved. Then, the old man with the sword solemnly said, "Did our actions leak out? Why would someone intercept it here, and what exactly is this huge cannonball?" It can be said that this is the first time for the old man with a sword to see this kind of thing. The huge tail beast cannon, that terrifying power, can't help but make people tremble. "I don't know. I have never seen it either," the old man with beige hair also said puzzledly. Gang Bone Kong, Garp and others also frowned, saying that they had never seen it. Chin Luo exchanged the Nine-Tails Demon Fox at the time. Except that Whitebeard had tasted the Nine-Tails Demon Fox's tail beast cannon, no one had encountered it. Slowly, the smoke and dust in front dissipated, and then, a huge figure slowly walked out of the smoke and dust. Then, what is that? A marine's throat rolled and he roared incredibly. Advertisement. Immediately, countless eyes looked at where Marine was pointing. A huge body, 9 thick and thick tails, and that scarlet evil aura. What is this? Asshole. Is this Sea King's? No. This is a fox. And 9 tails. 0. What is this? Zone Devil Fruit. I have never seen it before. Good evil breath. What is this? One person pointed to the gas that slowly turned scarlet in front of him, and replied in horror. Look. There is someone on this fox. That is, the red cloud and black robe. Sengoku suddenly saw a figure on the body of the Nine-Tails Demon Fox. That figure was familiar and unfamiliar. What? Red clouds and black robe. Flowing clouds. The steel hollow trembled in his heart and looked up. It turned out to be Luyun. What? Luyun. The strong man who destroyed the Holy Land. Luyun. It's over. It's dead this time. It doesn't have to be Luyun. Last time in the Holy Land we also caught a person wearing a red cloud and black robe. He is not Luyun. And this person in front of us. It is not necessarily Luyun. Everyone's hearts trembled uncontrollably, especially the beige-haired old man and the old man with a sword. They had fought against Hidan at the beginning. Hidan also wore a red cloud and black robe. At that time, this Hidan killed 5 elders. Although there is a lot of luck and 5 elders are not familiar with Hidan's moves, what frightens them is that this kid, who also owns the god of immortality, was cut into pieces and kept in jail for 3 days. Can never die. This is what scares 5 elders. Alert! Even if this person is not Luyun. He is also a strong one. This organization. Never accept unknown people. Just as the old man with the sword warned, Chin Luo directly jumped up, stepped on the void, looked at everyone, and smiled. 5 elders, you didn't die last time, you are really dead. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Report. 23%. Chapter 177. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Who are you? The old man with a sword raised his head vigilantly, his expression uncertain. Who am I? It seems that you are such a noble man who forgets things. Chin Luo curled up at the corner of his mouth and smiled. When I was in the Holy Land, did I forget the power of planetary devastation? Planetary devastation. The beige old man suddenly shrank his pupils when he heard the words. You said that huge and astonishing meteorite. Could it be? You are really a flowing cloud. The old man with the sword stared at the person in front of him. A sense of horror suddenly surrounded him, and a sense of crisis suddenly emerged. It seems you haven't forgotten it yet. Asshole. Gangbone clenched his iron fist, gritted his teeth angrily. On that day, he was in naval headquarters and had never seen Lu Yun's real body. This was the first time that Gang Gukong met this person. Blasting. There was no nonsense at all. The old man with a sword directly issued an order. Suddenly, 20 huge warships, on both sides of each warship, 50 cannons were lined up, plus the portable heavy weapons that can be carried on the warship. It can be said that this is the highest equipment equipped by naval headquarters, and it is only equipped to pick up the Lord Tianlong. One warship is enough to sweep more than 5 ordinary warships, but there are 20 warships with the same configuration. This force is enough to sweep any big pirate in New World. Of course, the most terrifying thing is the backbone of the naval headquarters on the 20 warships. Countless muzzles were turned crazy, and the angle was adjusted. Boom. Boom. Advertisement. Boom. Cannonballs with huge inertia, dense like raindrops, poured down like crazy. Countless white smoke suddenly soared into the sky, covering the entire sea area. At the same time, violent gunfire sounded, tens of thousands. The bullet shot directly into the smoke, blasting towards the figure in front. Ah! Qin Luo smiled lightly, looking at the main battleship on the sea, all the backbone of naval headquarters and the last boss 5 elders. 9 tails. Qin Luo raised his right hand and stretched forward slightly to remind. Yes, master. 9 tails tilted her head, a wicked smile hung on the corner of her mouth, and then, amidst all the bombardment, her huge body suddenly rose to the sky and roared. Roar. Following the roar of 9 tails, an invisible shock wave spread directly along the sea water, and set off a huge wave on the sea. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Super large tail beast cannon. 9 tails condensed quickly in front of Hungary, and the evil terrifying energy suddenly swept across all warships. A black and white photon-like energy wave in front of 9 tails quickly condensed, and a tail beast cannon slowly took shape. Boom. 9 tails figure flashed, covering the huge claws of the rich chakra, directly on the tail beast cannon, and suddenly, the tail beast cannon shot away frantically. With a loud bang, countless cannonballs were immediately lifted out by the violent energy, and the flames soared into the sky, like a nuclear bomb detonated, a semicircle of several hundred meters, directly covered by the sky, and the dazzling red glow burst out wildly. The shells and the tail beast cannon intersect together, burning fiercely in the sky, like rows of gorgeous fireworks. And the densely packed bullets were also rushed to pieces in this shocking wave. Asshole. Keep fighting. Advertisement. The old man with a sword sullen face and roared. Fire. Boom boom boom. Boss. I can solve it without you. Seeing Qin Luo planning to make a move, 9 tails hurriedly stopped. Boss, let me blast them for a few shots. It's really cool and enjoyable. It's really fun to beat Uchiha Madara. It's so cool. Madara. Qin Luo suddenly smiled at the corner of his mouth when he heard the words. Yeah, why did you forget Madara? Just when 9 tails was about to use its 9 huge scarlet tails to resist those shells, the eyes under Qin Luo's mask had slowly turned into Sharingan, and then, crazily twisted, became Mangekyo Sharingan, and finally turned into Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Afterwards, a blue skeleton frame directly covered the surface of Qin Luo's body, and the blazing light pierced countless marines unable to open their eyes. What is this? Asshole. Lu Yun still has this kind of trick. Alert. Alert me. Seeing a huge blue skeleton frame no smaller than 9 tails, for a while, the old man with a sword appeared on his body, and the strange anxiety made the marines shiver and panic. The marines on the 20 warships are like ants on a hot pot when they jump up and down. Above the blue skeleton, almost instantaneously, countless armors swept up, covering the body surface of the blue skeleton. In a blink of an eye, the huge blue body holding 2 long swords emitting blue light Susanoo is fully formed. A wave of horror and palpitations, madness swept the entire sea. With countless pairs of eyes widening, the Marines looked at Susano, who was completely above, in astonishment, their throats rolled, and there was no feeling of resistance. Asshole. At the moment when the huge complete body Susano appeared, the feeling of the old man with the sword was suppressed to the extreme. Boom boom boom. Ding 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 ding. Advertisement. Countless shells and bullets hit Chin Luo's complete body Susano, and did not cause any substantial damage to Chin Luo. Those shells were simply fragile. How? How is it possible? What a strong defense. What the hell is this? Countless people shivered and despaired in their hearts. Cheer up. The old man with a sword saw the Marines like a plate of scattered sand, not in the mood to fight, and immediately swiped a long sword in his hand, and a slash of blue light turned into a huge shock wave and shot out. Ah! Chin Luo smiled lightly, waving the long sword in his hand at random. Boom! Two surging sword auras whizzed out and collided fiercely on the sea. The huge shock waves collided, and the blue rays of light continued to brave. Finally, they were born on the spot to offset them. 5 elders, I'm so eager to get started in 1.6, do you want to step into hell sooner? Humph. Seeing that Susano of Chin Luo was so perverted, just a random wave, resisted his ultimate move, and couldn't help feeling cold. Where are you going to be so enthusiastic? Is it to pick up the Tianlong people you guard? If it is because of this, I advise you not to go, because you are all going to die in front of me today. Chin Luo smiled indifferently, and then, Susano, the full body shining with blue light, leapt directly, and with a bang, both feet stepped onto the sea. The entire sea seemed to be materialized. The huge waves swept out, a domineering wave. The extreme tsunami with a height of more than 10 meters rushed directly towards 20 warships. Mortals, let you see the power of God today. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Report. 23%. Chapter 178. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Boom. Susano, a full body shining with blue light, stepped directly on the surface of the sea. The violent fluctuations aroused countless waves. Layers of seawater swiftly moved to the surrounding area. A tsunami of tens of meters, in the blink of an eye, was caught by Chin Luo. Susano's complete body is raised several times. The huge waves rolled, paving the surface layer by layer. Kuzan. Seeing this tsunami like reclaiming the sea, the old man with the sword directly called Kuzan. After all, Kuzan is a frozen fruit capable person, and it is the most suitable for dealing with this kind of seawater. Aokiji raised his head, black curly hair wafting in the wind, a solemn expression flashed on his dark face, and the whole person turned into a stream of light, flashing beside the tsunami. Freezing time. Kuzan stretched out his hands and exhaled a cold breath at the same time. Suddenly, countless cold breaths spurted out frantically. Want to freeze again? Chin Luo looked at Kuzan with a deep gaze, and the long sword in his hand struck it directly like lightning. There was a sound explosion in the space, and then the entire Air 12 was split in half, and a blue flash of light flew obliquely at a tricky angle. Damn it! Perceiving the crisis, Aokiji hurriedly stopped with both hands, and his figure burst out. Then, Ahaki's incomparable great sword suddenly slashed, and Kuzan had just frozen a part of the sea water, and it was directly smashed into powder, and the huge wave directly hit the 20 marine warships. Advertisement. Asshole. The beige-haired old man turned blue with anger, his figure flickered, and he rose into the air, kicking quickly with his right foot. Golden Gang Wind. A strong hockey shock wave exudes a bright light and swiftly crashed into the tsunami. Ah! Chin Luo smiled lightly, the long sword in his hand slashed forward and collided with the fast golden wind. Boom! A loud noise exploded directly between the two, and the powerful shock wave flew out to the surroundings at a speed 10 times faster than the previous one. The strong energy, like a sharp blade, swept everything directly. The energy hit the tsunami, the shock wave turned into a thin line, and the tsunami was instantly split in half. However, this shock wave only split the sea water. The shock wave swept through, and the tsunami was connected again, and rushed in angrily. Boom. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Countless Marines opened their eyes wide and looked straight at the tsunami carrying an astonishing force, crashing on several battleships. The sea rushed out, and the rushing Marines turned their backs on their backs. I come. Sengoku yelled. His beard trembled, and the huge palm directly split 2 shock waves, blasting the sea water ahead. However, the entire warship was shaking violently. Even after Sengoku blasted out 2 shock waves, the rushed figure rolled over. The Marines shouted for help, were swept by the sea, and all fell. As the sea water rushed through, the 20 warships that were originally neatly misaligned and retreated dozens of meters away, and some equipment on the warship was completely submerged by the sea water and all failed. Asshole. Advertisement. I'm coming. The old man with the sword shouted angrily and slammed his foot on the warship. Suddenly, dense cracks appeared on the entire deck. Then, the old man with the sword rushed up. I'm coming too. The old man with beige hair also stretched his arms, his figure turned into afterimages, appearing above the void. Asshole. Luyun. You destroy my government and destroy my holy land. Today, the old man vowed to kill you. The old man with the sword flashed in his eyes. Before he finished speaking, he suddenly drew his sword and slashed towards Chin at a swift and violent speed. Luo. Dozens of luminous slashes converged together to form a golden cross slash, a sharp and tyrannical impact. Facing the slash of the old man with a sword, Chin Luo didn't hesitate at all, as he went up with a sword. In the perfect body, Susanoo, this old man with a sword wants to hurt him. It can be said to be as difficult as the sky. Even without the blessing of Susanoo, Chin Luo can blow this product completely by relying on his body. Boom. With a casual cut, he cut out a huge sword energy that was more than 10 meters long and several meters wide. The sword energy of the old man with a sword was only about 10 meters, and the old man with a sword used all his strength to cut it out. However, no matter how you look at it, it is the horror of Chin Luo. The cross slash cut by the old man with the sword hit the sword energy of the long sword under Chin Luo's Susanoo, and it was instantly swallowed and disappeared completely. What? It's even more terrifying than the sword spirit of Lord Five Elders. After the elites of Naval Headquarters saw the sword aura of Lord Five Elders colliding with the sword aura released by Chin Luo, it was like a kid who saw the adult and was suppressed one after another. Asshole. So strong. Seeing that his sword energy was submerged, the old man with a sword instantly solidified his expression, gritted his teeth and stared at Luyun. Shave. Golden Tempest Kick. Advertisement. Seeing that the old man with the sword was overwhelmed with a blow, the figure of the old man with beige hair shot exploded, and he directly killed Susanoo, Chin Luo's complete body. The domineering golden light flashed, and Susanoo hit him with a kick. Boom. The surging energy was transmitted from his feet, and the blazing golden light resembled the golden sun, sending out heart-pounding fluctuations. Hee. Hit. The beige-haired old man hit and kicked, his solemn expression suddenly relaxed, and a yin smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. His kick is not a bit stronger than those admiral in naval headquarters. With his kick, even if he encounters Whitebeard can only escape. Don't dare to shake the Route 700. Therefore, he has confidence in his own kick. Dignified Five Elders, do you like the yin people behind? Chin Luo's indifferent voice passed out, and then he controlled a long sword to directly slash it straight down. What? The beige-haired elder's eyes suddenly showed a panic, the whole person turned into a shooting star, and he drew away frantically. After that, he looked at Chin Luo with lingering fears. Luyun, you hit me in the kick, but it's okay. The beige-haired old man looked crazy, staring at his eyes, and there was a strong shock in his tone. Why am I doing something? Chin Luo smiled lightly and said, I forgot to tell you that your kick did not cause me any substantial damage. Is the legendary Five Elders so fragile? Really? I'm so disappointed. Asshole. The old man with the sword shouted angrily, and the long sword in his hand suddenly slashed dozens of times, and a huge tornado that was so strong that it would destroy the world swept out. The horrible sword aura directly turned into a blade tornado, the horrible sword aura spread out in all directions, and the sea was swept up, rising against the wind, and turned into a Shinigami waterspout. Ho ho ho. A huge, terrifying tornado flew out frantically, and then, the top of the Shinigami waterspout suddenly became extremely sharp, like an awl, piercing Susanoo of Ryayun. Chapter 179. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Kuzan. The old man with the sword stepped out of the room, yelling frantically. Kuzan knew it, and the cold air in his hand spurted out again. Boom. An icicle spurted out of Aokiji's hand quickly, and shot towards the Shinigami waterspout. After just touching the twisting waterspout, the entire icicle was torn to pieces, and countless fragments smashed into pieces. Then, the cold air moved forward forced to go, the Shinigami waterspout suddenly froze. The violent Shinigami waterspout just now turned into a substantial Shinigami ice tornado. The sharp and dazzling ice, like a drill bit, told the rotating Susanoo to blast towards Chinluo. Zitsa. When it touched, the ice cubes, which were extremely hard and hard like iron drill bits, were resisted by Susanoo. Under the force of the huge rotation, the sharp ice cubes broke apart and all blasted on Susanoo. Wow! There was a strong smashing sound, and the ice cubes fell apart like glass shattered and flew out. And the Susanoo cast by Chinluo was also under the Shinigami ice tornado like diamonds, and a thin white gap appeared. Then, the gap grew rapidly, and then the entire Susanoo blooming with blue light vibrated strongly. Above, fragments flew out. Kacha. Crack. At this moment, a sound similar to the breaking of glass came out from Susanoo, and then it burst into pieces. Susanoo turned into fly ash and disappeared completely. Broken. Broken. Naval headquarters. Countless Marines, seeing the situation on the battlefield, raised their arms in excitement one by one. Advertisement. Liuyun is not invincible. Gengukong slowly breathed a sigh of relief when he saw this scene, and then sternly shouted, "All Marines are ready. Start counterattack." "Oh, Ryayun, your protective shield was shattered, what do you have to do?" Seeing this, the old man with a sword heaved a sigh of relief. Under the freezing power of his Shinigami waterspout and Kuzan, Susanoo defeated him completely, which made the old man with the sword see hope. Yo. Good ability. But, do you really think that's the end? Chinluo squinted slightly, and then his hands were sealed. Susanoo, who had just been fragmented, gathered again in a frantic manner. Enveloping Chinluo directly, in the blink of an eye, Susanoo, who was exactly the same as before, flashed out again. The blue skeleton, flesh and blood, nerves, pipes, so that the skin, in the end, is iron armor exuding cold light. Completely, Susanoo was recruited by Chinluo again. The blue long sword in his hand whispered in bursts. Susanoo stepped on the sea and cut out. Wow! After cutting it out, a huge ring of sword energy pierced through the sky and the earth swarmed vertically, directly splitting the entire sea surface in half, mixed with a powerful and terrifying aura, and rushed towards it. Asshole! What? Coming out again? What kind of ability is this? And the Marines who had raised their arms and shouted, seeing this scene, they also closed their mouths obediently, shocked and at a loss. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. 3600 Ways Shinigami Tornado. Golden Tempest Kick. The beige-haired old man moved with the figure of the old man with the sword light flickered, and the foot shadows flew. The two figures are illusory, and it is hard to see which one is true and which one is false. Admiral in Naval Headquarters can't see the figures of the two old men. I saw the golden light gleaming in the front, it was cut out with one blow, and I couldn't see the specific appearance at all. Asshole. Gengukong clenched his iron fist and roared. All Marine, help Master 5 Elders. Bombing Luyun. Advertisement. With an order, Marine, who was originally scattered and panicked, immediately raised his morale and moved quickly and swiftly. Quick, quick, clean up all the water. Shelling Luyun. The kid over there, quickly turn the gun muzzle. Adjust the angle. Asshole, there are no shells. Send 10 people to mobilize shells in the cabin. Hurry up. The intensive execution of orders on warships, like ants on a hot pot, act quickly. Asshole. All the personnel above the naval headquarters, give me support to Lord 5 Elders. Gangukong saw the two adults being completely crushed and beaten by Luyun, and his heart suddenly became angry. Support. Shave. 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 Moonwalk. Iron Fist Meteor Bone. Meteor Volcano. Sky Kong Yunjian. Shockwave. Ice. Burst Pheasant's Mouth. Advertisement. Countless people from naval headquarters disappeared on the main ship in an instant, and their silhouettes went directly to the behemoth ahead. Haha. Little ghosts. Master Luyun is fighting two old immortals. It's not good to take advantage of the human power. Suddenly, the huge body of Nine Tails directly blocked in front of the backbone of all the naval headquarters, and sneered slantingly. Asshole. Get out of the way. Heaven dog. Sakazuki didn't talk nonsense at all. On his right hand, a large amount of hot magma spurted out in an instant, condensed into the appearance of a cruel dog's head, and bit towards the Nine-Tails demon fox. Humph. Nine-Tails snorted disdainfully, and the Nine Tails wrapped in the thick chakra moved quickly. Then, the Nine Tails twisted wildly and rose up against the wind. Each one directly extended dozens of meters away, 10 meters wide, and a scarlet tail. At this moment, it turned into a weapon of magical weapon and slammed directly into Akainu's lava fire fist. Boom. Nine Tails' tail twitched, and Sakazuki's strong blow was directly resisted by Nine Tails' fox. Then, the entire lava was shattered and fell into the deep sea. At the same time, a golden light flashed above the sky, between Pelusolino holding a shining sharp sword, a sword pierced out, and it swelled instantly. The sharp sword seemed to penetrate a mountain. The domineering whistling came. Tailed Beast Cannon. The corner of Nine Tails' mouth was lifted, and the black particles carrying huge energy in front of him quickly condensed, and then turned into a transparent, strange sphere emitting blue light. The energy inside collided with each other, as if it were about to explode. As soon as the tail of the gods was drawn, the tail beast artillery rushed towards the sky cloud sword, and the sharp sword light directly penetrated the tail beast artillery and cut into two sections. Then, the entire tail beast cannon exploded directly, and the flames skyrocketed, and the originally chaotic battlefield was instantly overwhelmed by this violent energy. Even some Lieutenant General Marine was directly blasted off by this shock wave and almost fell into the deep sea. Chapter 180. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. More than a dozen lieutenants of naval headquarters were swept away by the power shock wave and couldn't get close to Nine Tails at all. Except for the future Marine 3 Admiral, Logia Demon Fruit Power, and the older generation of Martial Marine Admiral and Garp, the rest of the lieutenants are all blocked. Asshole. Gangukong saw the Nine Tails demon fox coming up to be stubbornly tangled, and his entire face turned pale. Then, he hurriedly turned around and issued orders to those Marine lieutenant generals who could not break through. Go to the warship and command the battle. Make sure the warship. Be safe with Marine. Yes. The embarrassed Marine lieutenant generals were downcast, and they directly listened to the orders of the steel skeleton. Return to the battleship to stabilize the situation, split some lingering Sea Kings around, and orderly command Marine operations. This is the sea. What they fear most is the sea. If there are no warships, a large number of people will die, and the entire naval headquarters, those who do not know Marine 6 styles, will all be ruined here. Blast Nine Tails. Blast the monster Luyun. The ghost spider looked gloomy and roared wildly, trying to vent all the bird's air it had received. Asshole. I'm coming. Seeing a gun at the Bastille that could not be adjusted, the figure flashed, like a sharp sword, and kicked at the front of the cannon. The jammed cannon turned smoothly at an angle of 930, and the muzzle went straight to Nine Tails. Fire. The Lieutenant General of Naval Headquarters yelled and issued orders together. Countless fires rose into the sky, and tens of thousands of shells were crushed toward Nine Tails and Luyun Susano. Suddenly, the old man with a sword who was fighting with Luyun noticed the fluctuations behind him, turned around and slashed. A sword aura 10 meters long and wide whistled out, cutting directly into the pitch-black ink, which was half a meter in diameter. Above the shells. Advertisement. Boom. A huge flame rose into the sky, and smoke splashed everywhere. Asshole. See clearly before firing. The old man with the sword roared, his expression extremely angry. Sorry. And Marine, who fired on a battleship, wiped cold sweat with a guilty conscience. To be honest, it is difficult to avoid the naval headquarters in such intensive battles. What's more, their battles are ever changing, and their figures are like ghosts, flickering and flickering, which makes the Marines unable to aim. Therefore, the Marine bombardment will appear things like 5 elders happened. Asshole. Let the professional gunners come over. Bastille kicked the Marine who had just fired, and shouted at the crowd. Report. I am the professional gunner of this warship. You. Bastille's eyes widened, his face full of ferocity. Yes. The gunner wiped his cold sweat and stood tremblingly in front of the Bastille, saying with a guilty conscience. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Next time I am aiming and firing. I hurt Master 5 elders, I will kill you. Yes. The gunner's expression tightened, and then he squatted down quickly and continued to adjust his angle, but every time he reached the most critical moment, he would hesitate in his heart. As a result, he never fired a gun in 2 or 3 minutes. Iron Fist Meteor Bone. Advertisement. On the other side, a cannonball with a diameter of more than 1 meter long appeared in Garp's hand. It was completely dark and was lifted by Garp with one hand. It seemed that the weight of the cannonball was enough to be shocking. 9 tails, eat me. Garp grinned, and then, with blue veins violent on his face, the iron ball in his hand flew out in an instant, turning into an afterimage, and whizzing towards the 9 tails in the center of the venue. The oversized iron ball hits directly and quickly, and it grows sharply in the eyes of 9 tails. Asshole. Bullying the old man alone. At the same time, a figure flickered next to 9 tails, and a man wearing a red cloud and black robe also appeared. When the man appeared, his expression was cold, and a breath of murder came on him. The only difference was this. The man also wore a mask similar to Chin Luo, and couldn't see his true face. Fire style Great Fireball Technique. Uchiha Itachi's hands quickly formed seals, and then a dragon of tens of meters in flame spewed out of his mouth. During the roar, the dragon directly collided with Garp's oversized iron ball. Then, a huge explosion that detonated the world came out. Boom. The flames tumbling and soaring, the violent explosion shock wave directly swept the center of the flame, and then swept the entire battlefield. Fire style. Dragon Flame Jutsu. A flame spurted out. Uchiha Itachi felt that the power was not enough, and then a fire dragon spurted out, shooting straight to the center of the explosion, directly penetrating it, and then, like a long sword, attacking the warship. Asshole. Sengoku saw this long flame dragon, and was frightened. He shoved and jumped directly in front of the warship, and the domineering impact of huge palms suddenly flashed out. Shockwave. Advertisement. Bang. The flame collided with the invisible shock wave, arousing a brilliant hanabi. A violent explosion sound passed to the ear, and the dragon flame jutsu played by Uchiha Itachi was also resisted. Huh, Uchiha boy, the old man can also resist without you. 9 Tails Demon, said Uchiha Itachi with an unhappy expression on his face. Everyone is serving the master. You die, the master will lose a big arm. Uchiha Itachi's eyes were flat, without sorrow or joy, and his eyes looked straight ahead. Asshole. Are you also Luyuan's subordinate? Gang Gukong saw another man wearing a red cloud and black robe. His complexion became very distorted, and 9 Tails alone was difficult to deal with, and now it is again. Here comes a tricky guy. Yes. Uchiha Itachi answered one word, but he didn't say anything. Asshole. What kind of person is Luyuan, who can let you powerhouses serve him? Gang Gukong roared angrily. The current form is very bad. First, they don't know the strength of the Luyuan cadre who just appeared. Secondly, they don't know what abilities this kid has. These 2 points alone are enough to make them feel devastated. There is so much nonsense. Didn't you just bully with too many people? Now, it's time for the old man to resist. 9 Tails Demon Fox opened its fangs and smiled evilly. Let's do it, so I can support the master. Uchiha Itachi said, and then looked to the rear to find that the master was using Susanoo completely. What? Madara's Susanoo? After Uchiha Itachi saw it clearly, his heart trembled and couldn't help himself. The master doesn't have Mangekyo Sharingan, so he can still use it. Huh, Uchiha Kid, what's the matter? The master can not only use Susanoo, but even your Amaterasu and you can use it, and it's more powerful than yours. Chapter 181. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. What kind of ability does the master possess? This is too powerful. Even Uchiha Itachi, who has always been calm, can't calm down at this moment. Their Uchiha clan's proudest blood succession boundary is the Sharingan. But the owner is not the Uchiha clan, but can use Sharingan. Could it be? The master transplanted his eyes. It's impossible. What the hell is it? Uchiha Itachi's heart was surging, and he couldn't calm down. At the moment, the enemy dared to think about things. This is a very dangerous thing. By the way, have you been kicked by the speed of light? A lazy voice sounded, and immediately, the light flickered, and a big golden foot hit the front door of Uchiha Itachi. Very fast. Uchiha Itachi was slightly surprised, but he didn't panic because of it. Bang! The golden light swept across and kicked Uchiha Itachi. Under Kizaru's triumphant smile, Uchiha Itachi's body suddenly turned into illusion. He kicked it and directly split Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Itachi's figure was twisted in the void, and those red clouds, the black robes, turned into black crows. Their scarlet eyes were creepy, and they flew into the sky. What? When he failed, a flash of consternation flashed in Pelusilino's eyes. It seemed that in New World, the moves of the little Chin Luo were exactly the same. Asshole. Are you Chin Luo? Pelusilino's pupils shrank, and he suddenly remembered the fear of being dominated by Chin Luo that day. Chin Luo. Who is he? The black crow gathered together again and turned into the figure of Uchiha Itachi, and then his voice came out without delay. Kid. What are you pretending to be, garlic? Pelusilino roared angrily. It is because of Chin Luo that their marine has suffered a heavy loss, but think about the command issued by 5 elders a few days ago, Pelusilino. Celino suppressed the anger in his heart again. Afterwards, it turned into a golden glow and flashed to Gangukong's side. Martial. Advertisement. As soon as Porosalino appeared, his face solemnly looked at Gangukong. I saw it. The steel frame waved his hand and signaled Pelusilino. Needless to say, Chin Luo and Marine traded in this way that day. Then, Gangukong shaving, his figure rushed up. Armed color hardened. Steel Bone's face was gloomy, and he smashed his fist. The tyrannical fist wind made Uchiha Itachi's robe slightly undulate. Armed color. Uchiha Itachi muttered in a low voice. Then, the iron fist wrapped in the armor color was smashed, and his figure turned into illusion again. Asshole. This kind of difficult ability again. After a hit, Gangukong almost wanted to vomit blood in depression. This kind of ability can directly ignore the armed color. It is simply terrifying. It clearly has the strength to match it, but it can't beat Uchiha Itachi at all. This inferior form makes Gangukong very annoyed. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. 9 Tails, what is armed color? Uchiha Itachi didn't care about Gangukong's angry expression, but frowned and asked 9 Tails. Armed color. 9 Tails hesitated for a moment, and said, in this world, there is a kind of devil fruit. As you know, it is Logia devil fruit. If you eat this kind of devil fruit, your body will be elementalized, and it will be similar to the surreal. The things that can't be seen, and the hardening of the armed color, is completely the nemesis of this kind of things. In this way, do you understand? So that's it. But, his armor is hardened, and it seems to be useless to me. Hearing Uchiha Itachi's voice, Gangukong almost spewed a few mouthfuls of blood, and their armed color hardened. There is nothing to do with Uchiha Itachi, which resembles an illusory body. Martial, if he really is Chin Luo. We can't do it at all. Master 5 Elders has issued an order, from now on can't fight Chin Luo. Lieutenant General Crane kept changing shape in the air, his face solemnly asked. From the sound point of view, he is not Chin Luo, but he has the ability similar to Chin Luo's strength. Could it be that he is a member of Chin Luo's family? Advertisement. Chin Luo's family. Lieutenant General Crane frowned, hesitating in his words. Indeed, Zephyr told Gangukong that day that there is a powerful and invincible family behind Chin Luo, even if it is admiral of headquarters, it is even more difficult to enter this place. At the time, Gangukong gave Qin Luo an olive branch, and even used the coveted rank of Marine Admiral to confuse Qin Luo. However, Qin Luo's eyes were not placed here. However, the mysterious family behind Qin Luo could not be detected by CP0. At the beginning, Gangukong once doubted whether this hidden family really exists. Where do you come from? Gangukong asked with a solemn tone. From a very mysterious place. Uchiha Itachi didn't talk nonsense, and simply opened his mouth without too much cover. You and Qin Luo belong to the same family. He also has the power of your illusory body. Even, that Qin Luo also has a mysterious move to release black flames. What is the relationship between you and him? What is the relationship with him? Gangbone Sora's words were full of questions, as if he had thought of something. Showing black flames. Uchiha Itachi whispered. Then, taking off the mask, the scarlet eyes and the melancholy and indifferent temperament were undoubtedly displayed, and an aloof and arrogant aura swept across the entire venue. What shocked Gangukong even more was the scarlet eyes. Mangekyo Sharingan. Sure enough. It's this kind of eyes. It's this kind of eyes. You must have something to do with that Qin Luo. Gangbone Kong's voice was gloomy and suppressed, and his body trembled slightly. For a time, in the void, all the backbone of naval headquarters were shocked. There was a terrible storm in my heart. Is it the black flame you're talking about? Uchiha Itachi said calmly, then closed his right eye. 0. Advertisement. After a brief pause, Uchiha Itachi opened his right eye for an instant, and then Mangekyo Sharingan on his right spun frantically, and a terrifying force spread out instantly. Boom. Black flames came out of the void and burned directly on the warship. Really? Seeing the black flames on the distant warships, the backbone of the naval headquarters was all disturbed. For a while, the atmosphere on the void was strangely suppressed to the extreme. The marine on the warship below all abandoned the ship and fled, staying far away from the black flame, for fear of being contaminated and burned. After releasing Amaterasu for a short time, Uchiha Itachi stopped consuming. Although his recovery ability in this world is extremely strong, it is still not a small burden. What is the relationship between you and Qin Luo? Is this kind of eye unique to your family? Qin Luo. Uchiha Itachi frowned slightly. Qin Luo had never heard of Qin Luo, and Uchiha Itachi also asked that he was the first Uchiha family to serve Lord Luyun, that is to say, in this world, except apart from Uchiha Itachi who can use Amaterasu and Yuyu, the only thing left is Ryunshin. Hidden identity. Uchiha Itachi thought carefully, and in a moment he understood Luyun-sama's thoughts. Qin Luo. Uchiha Itachi said indifferently. He is a member of my family, but our family is divided into several factions, and he is only a member of one of them. Moreover, this kind of eyes is indeed unique to our family. Really? Hearing this, Gangbone Kong's expression suddenly became clear. It really is so. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 182. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Marshal. If things really develop in this way, it will be really tricky. Lieutenant General Crane looked solemn and looked straight at Uchiha Itachi. Qin Luo has negotiated with the 5 elders of our world government. The well water does not offend the river. And you sent people to obstruct our marine. Is it because you want to take advantage of the fire to rob and violate your promise? Gangukong's eyes were grim. Gritted his teeth. Promise. Although Qin Luo hides the family for us, it has nothing to do with me. He promised you the world government. It doesn't mean that I promise. Uchiha Itachi looked indifferent, standing indifferently and arrogantly in the void, with his robe flying in the air. With a faint melancholy temperament. Asshole. Look like that. You guys are trying to fight against Marine. I don't want to fight against Marine, I just serve Ryun-sama. Uchiha Itachi has a peaceful voice, no waves in his heart, and no flaws in lying. Uchiha, what's wrong with him? The old man is enough to smash their warship into slag. The master is still waiting for us to support. Although, now the master is crushing the two of them. Hit. Ninetail's huge head turned around and saw that Shin Luo was controlling the complete body Susanoo, fiercely suppressing the beige old man and the old man with a sword, firmly gaining the upper hand. You should take care of yourself first. Sakazuki saw that there was no room for maneuver, and raised both fists quickly. Then, the whole fists turned into two hot lava fists, and the sky of fireworks and dust burst out suddenly, heat shocking. Spitfire. With a loud roar, a huge lava fist attacked Uchiha Itachi, and its power could even evaporate an iceberg in an instant. Advertisement. Do it. Seeing Sakazuki's shot, Gangji Yukong directly gave an order, and suddenly, the powerhouse with the above-mentioned power from the Lieutenant General rushed over after using moonwalk. Have you been kicked by the speed of light? Whoosh. With a golden light flashing, Pelusilino instantly appeared in front of Uchiha Itachi, in the void, raising his right leg, the blazing light flashed out, and he kicked Uchiha Itachi's side face fiercely. A meaningless struggle, Uchiha Itachi said calmly, and then the figure turned into black crows, and Pelusilino rushed out again. Asshole. Other than that, don't you have any other moves? Pelusilino's sloppy expression disappeared without a trace, and he roared angrily. Uchiha Itachi had a plain face to Pelusilino's anger, and he didn't bother to pay attention to it. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. When the glass Sereno flashed back, Sakazuki's lava punch was violently rushing towards Uchiha Itachi, and for a short period of time, the tail of the nine-tails fox rose in the wind, and the tail covered with rich chakra directly blocked Uchiha. Beside Itachi, lava hit his tail. Zitsa. Boom boom boom. The sound resounded through the world, and the lava stone carrying a huge force banged on the tail, sparks splashed, and the lava flew across. Advertisement. A burst of dust and smoke spread out suddenly, making countless people sluggish. Huh, kid, the power is good. Ninetails sneered, with a strange arc at the corner of her mouth, and then the entire tail spun quickly, directly crushing the remaining lava stone like a ping-pong ball in countless pairs of doubtful eyes. It was shot quickly, and for a time, above the void, countless lava stones traversed the void and shot at the warship in a volley, causing a large fire. Asshole. I can stop it. Sakazuki's face was cold, his hat was lowered a little, and his eyes were very sharp. Sky Kong Yunjian. Seeing Sakazuki's attack failed, a golden glow appeared in Pelusilino's hand, and then turned into a golden lightsaber. The dazzling light was released from his hand, and then, he furiously moved up and down to his side. Hack it over. Ding. Susanoo. Uchiha Itachi's eyes flickered, and then suddenly enlarged. Then, under the shocked eyes of countless marines, a thick and extreme red chakra crazily emerged from Uchiha Itachi's body, and then covered his body. A powerful and unmatched chakra immediately surrounded the whole body, and soon, a skeleton completely wrapped Uchiha Itachi in it. Then, the huge chakra instantly rushed towards the skeleton. On the basis of the skeleton, it was covered with meridians and flesh and blood, and it was covered in a coat-like shape. The chakra is completely covered, holding weapons in both hands, holding a 10-fist sword in his right hand, and Yata mirror in his left hand. From a distance, the entire Susanoo exudes blazing brilliance, extremely mysterious, like a mecha god of war. With a light swipe of the 10-fist sword in his hand, it directly blocked Pelusilino's sky cloud sword, and then the entire golden glow turned into a phantom, disappearing without a trace. Asshole. You also have this ability. Could it be that Luyun is also a character in your family? What kind of family are you? The steel bone hollow spirit was horrified, and his pupils shrank. The horror thing, the defensive power is abnormal. Just now, the 5 elders and the team attacked together, and Zanjin crushed Luyun's Susanoo. Unexpectedly, the current kid has this ability. Master Luyun is naturally a member of my family, but what family? Sorry, no comment. Uchiha Itachi blocked the sky cloud sword, looked at the people in the void indifferently, and answered plainly. Advertisement. HMPH. Pretend to be a fool. What if you have this thing? It's broken. Sakazuki's face was pale, His fists raised, his hands quickly turned into magma hands, and the surrounding temperature rose rapidly. Meteor volcano. With a roar, countless thick lava fists suddenly spewed out, carrying unparalleled terrifying power, and shot into the sky. Then, the sky flickered, and the clouds across the sky were reflected in red. Powerful energy gathered in the clouds, and then, a coercion suddenly fell. Above the sky, countless lava fists slammed at Ninetales and Uchiha Itachi in the center of the battlefield. The speed was astonishing, and the air caused an array. Detonated. 3.0. The 8-foot mirror. Kizaru didn't talk nonsense, turning into a golden light directly, avoiding the lava stone, and shooting towards Uchiha Itachi. Huh. Do it. The corner of Ninetales' mouth lifted, revealing a weird smile, and the two of them all started together. For a time, fierce fluctuations and battle broke out on the battlefield, and the sea fell back like a natural disaster. On the other side, Shin Luo controlled Madara's complete body Susanoo, pressing two old immortals, and seeing Uchiha Itachi cast Susanoo, the corners of his mouth were curved. Is it true? It seems that I have to make a quick decision. With that, Shin Luo's left eye suddenly changed, and then it directly became the state of Uchiha Sasuke's eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Susanoo. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 183. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Boom. The sky shook strangely, and then, a purple full-body Susanoo flashed out. The entire body was purple, like a mechanical armor. The beautiful appearance was shining with brilliant divine light, the purple flames were overwhelming, and the whole body was huge, with purple palms. Enough to squeeze people. Asshole, you can actually use two abilities. Looking at the huge purple body that looked like Optimus Prime, the old man with beige hair and the old man with the sword were shocked. Cold sweat was coming from behind. With just such a Susanoo like a god of war, they can hardly fight, and now there are two. Why? Afraid. Shin Luo looked indifferent, staring coldly at everything in the void, and then, the purple Susanoo's wide right hand suddenly showed light, and a spiritual bow appeared. As this, the old man with the sword shrank his pupils, and a strong sense of crisis came to his heart. 5 elders, this is not called an ability, this is called Susanoo. Shin Luo said lightly, and then, on top of the purple Susanoo's left hand, a black flame suddenly turned out, and the black flame swelled sharply. Flame control. Shin Luo's expression on 12 condensed, and then, 2 black flames leapt out directly, approaching the purple Susanoo's back. Suddenly, the 2 black flames that had no actual substance changed rapidly, and then they turned into 2 burning wings, directly connected to the purple Susanoo. During the violent beating, the wind roared, the sea was surging, and countless waves flew out. The purple Susanoo, under the blessing of the huge wings, is approaching the void. Against the backdrop of dark clouds, the black inflammation on the purple Susanoo's left hand directly materialized and turned into a sharp arrow burning with black inflammation. The arrows are sharp and terrifying. With a slow ride, Ling Bo suddenly trembled slightly, and a heart-palpitating wave rippled out. Advertisement. What? The old man with a sword twitched his eyelids, he felt a strong sense of crisis, and he was already shrinking at this time. 5 elders, taste the power of my divine arrow. Shin Luo looked at the 2 people in shock on the field with a smile but a smile. Then, controlling the purple Susanoo, his fingers loosened slightly, and a sharp arrow made a swish. The sharp arrow shot out quickly, the black flame turned into a terrifying power in the void, the fluctuations were raging, causing a burst of sonic booms. With the powerful blessing of power, like a volcanic eruption, bow and shoot 5 elders. Asshole. The old man with the sword looked flustered, and the long sword in his hand was also waving in a mess. 7,200. Shinigami tornado. With a roar, the entire sky was filled with frenzy. In the center of the field, a Shinigami tornado with a height of hundreds of meters rose rapidly, and its violent vigor was like a steel sword. If the lieutenant general go in, you will be crushed by the flesh and blood in an instant, and you can't resist it at all. The Shinigami tornado runs through the sky and the earth. From a distance, even the dark clouds in the sky are affected. A large cloud of dark clouds forms a spiral, and the center of the spiral is directly opposite to the Shinigami tornado. A terrible horse. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Is this the strength of Lord Five Elders? It's really burning mountains and reclaiming the sea. A lieutenant looked at the epic war in the sky with lingering fear, swallowing his saliva. This flowing cloud is equally terrifying. That sharp arrow. I feel that I can shoot through a mountain. That sharp arrow. The ghost spider solemnly looked to the sky and said in a low voice, "If that sharp arrow hits me, I am afraid that my body will not be found." While shocked below, Uchiha Itachi also saw the moves performed by Ryujin-sama. When he saw the complete Susanoo, his heart was already shocked to the extreme. Isn't this Sasuke's Susanoo? Even Ryujin can use this ability. Uchiha Itachi was very surprised. If there is anything worthy of his interest, then maybe only Sasuke is the only one who loves his brother. Better to cherish himself. For the sake of his younger brother, he can give up everything and be willing to become a victim of Uchiha Sasuke. Advertisement. When he saw that Ryujin could use Sasuke's full-body Susanoo, his heart was already surging and it was difficult to calm down. Damn. This person used another kind of Susanoo. Everyone, fully resist the Nine-Tails Demon Fox and this person. Then go to support Lord Five Elders. The steel bones were so gloomy and roared loudly. Close double angle bracket, close double angle bracket. Meteor volcano. Bakichong Guyu. Iron fist. Falling bone. Ice cube. Two thorn spears. Shockwave. Armed color. Tempest kick. Everyone fought hard, and immediately swept Uchiha Itachi and Nine-Tails Demon Foxes. However, a strong person who can blend in with the wind and water in the Naruto world can still resist safely in the face of a storm-like attack. 10-Fist Sword. Uchiha Itachi controlled his own red Susanoo and slammed directly through it. Garp's oversized cannonball was smashed by Uchiha Itachi and exploded in the sky. Then, the oversized tail beasts of Nine-Tails monsters and foxes blasted at everyone. In the sky, these people are like living targets, while Nine-Tails releases its tail beast cannons heartily, and it consumes chakra drastically, is also rapidly condensing in this world. It's horrible. Boom 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 boom. Advertisement. The blazing red flame directly ignited the entire sky, and a substantial shock wave swept away at a speed of several hundred meters per meter. A huge black mushroom cloud rose slowly, like a nuclear bomb explosion, terrifying energy and huge fragments. The crumbs fell directly, falling down, smashed into a dozen or so warships that were broken and 687. Asshole. The ghost spider was instructing everyone to fire the cannon, and saw a lava stone falling above his head. His figure burst out, and an afterimage flashed across. He appeared directly beside the lava boulder and slashed it down with a single sword. Close double angle bracket. Boom. The entire lava stone was chopped in half with a single sword, and then a few burning lava stones fell, and the ghost spider's long sword shone with cold light, directly smashing all the lava stones to pieces. Damn Sakazuki. This kind of ability is really annoying. The ghost spider splits all the threatening lava stones, jumped back to the warship, and stared at the figure spraying the lava fist in the sky. As for Bastille, he was equally busy, and his face was unhappy. As a lieutenant general of naval headquarters, Sakazuki can actually support them, and they will always feel a little upset in their hearts when they look at it. Devil fruit. I will get one later. I will eat one too. When the battle was in full swing, the huge black flame arrow directly hit the Shinigami tornado of the old man with the sword. Under the collision, it directly penetrated the Shinigami tornado, and then, it quickly killed the old man with the sword. Be careful. The beige-haired old man gave a low drink, his figure flickered, and kicked the old man with a sword. Chapter 184. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. With a burst of shout, it spread out in the void, and the beige-haired old man looked panicked. Golden. Tempest kick. Seeing that it was too late, the right foot of the beige-haired old man was scratching in the void, and a semicircular arc-shaped crescent-shaped physical foot wind condensed and shot away. Boom. Kicked on the long sword of the old man with the sword, and with the huge impact, the old man with the sword flew out. At the same time, the Shinigami black flame quietly wiped from the side of the old man with the sword. Going away, under the resolute wind, drove the violent air. Woo! An arrow shot through and blasted towards the sea, and a jet of water that was hundreds of meters high directly sprayed out with a shocking momentum. Asshole! The old man with the sword looked at the explosion of the water column behind him with lingering fear, his body trembled slightly. Did off. Good reaction speed. Qin Luo looked at the beige-haired old man with a playful smile across his face. I just don't know. If I shoot both of you at the same time, you still have take care of the minds of others. After speaking, the purple Susanoo struck a string with his right hand, and a violent wind roared out, and the horrible heart-palpitating strange wave passed quickly, and the sky was dimmed during the stringing. The black flame on the purple Susanoo's right hand quickly transformed, and with Qin Luo's thoughts, it became two arrows exuding purple gods. Between the strings and bows, the power is infinite heaven-defying. Two arrows. Which of you can save each other? Qin Luo smiled lightly, and the purple Susanoo stretched his left arm madly backwards. The endless power was thrown into the spirit bow, directly forming a full moon shape, powerful enough to open the mountain. Cracked stone. Damn it! The old man with the sword stabilized his figure, the long sword clanked, not yet completely calmed down, two purple, heart-palpitating arrows took shape again. Woo! Advertisement. Woo! After letting go, the two arrows brought a storm, and the huge spiral wind behind it materialized, and the two arrows carried the huge power that could destroy a mountain, and shot towards the two of them. Asshole! The beige-haired old man secretly said a bad sound, and his figure flickered rapidly. Zan Zan avoided the black flame arrow, but the terrifying energy directly stirred his skin to tear, and a scar was rubbed on his arm. The old man with a sword also wielded a long sword. The blade flickered, and avoided, but his body was also colored. In an instant, the two were injured. Interesting moves. Qin Luo smiled slightly, and the purple Susanoo raised his arms lightly again, and two invisible arrows turned out, aiming at the two of them. Never let him shoot arrows. Under this situation, we will definitely fall into a disadvantage. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It seems that we can only let them come. The two looked at each other and understood each other's thoughts at the same time. Then, the two of them flew quickly with both hands, and the strange and mysterious runes continued to surge. Then, in Qin Luo's suspicious eyes, a bang exploded, and both of them were enveloped in white smoke and disappeared for a moment. Later, in the smoke and dust, two mysterious men wrapped in black clothes appeared. They were almost the same in shape. They wore face masks and concealed all their faces under the mask. The only thing that could be seen clearly was the two men's people. Sharp eyes with trepidation. During the appearance, the killing spirit in the heaven and earth suddenly jumped out, turned into substance, and rushed towards Qin Luo. Deadpool. You really have other abilities in Deadpool, but I don't know what abilities are in the Deadpool you brought today. Do it. The two old men didn't want to talk nonsense at all. They just wanted to quickly solve the problem in front of them. It seems that it is necessary to kill you quickly. Advertisement. Qin Luo muttered in his heart. Suddenly, a crack opened and closed at the center of his eyebrows. Then, an eye was directly erected and grew out of horror. When his eyelids opened, a strange scarlet Mangekyo Sharingan condensed into shape. 5 elders, let you feel the fear of this world. Qin Luo controls Uchiha Madara's complete body. Susanoo let go of his hands, face up, standing in the virtual space, like a divine residence. Susanoo. The powerful chakra emerged madly, and then, the scarlet chakra quickly condensed and formed into a skeleton. With the formation of the skeleton underneath quickly condensed out, blood vessels, internal organs, meridians, and skin. In the end, it is a battle armor exuding cold light like iron. He holds the Yata mirror in the left hand and the 10-fist sword in the right hand. One block and one attack, invincible. Boom. The red Susanoo slowly stood in the void, and his powerful energy instantly rushed out, and the invisible shock waves swept out, sweeping away the smoke and dust around him. This. The old man with the sword looked at the three giants in the sky. His whole person was stunned, standing still in shock and unable to speak. Asshole. Summon 3. What kind of monster are you? The beige-haired old man could no longer maintain his sense, and roared out in anger, terrified. Spitfire. Sakazuki's right hand blasted out, and the hot lava directly burned the sky and the earth, penetrating towards the heart of Susanoo in Uchiha Itachi, performing ultimate moves. Yata mirror. Uchiha Itachi looked indifferent, raised his left hand high, and directly resisted in front of him. The violent lava fist thumped on the Yata mirror domineeringly, with a bang, shattered, and countless debris splashed. Resist this ultimate move. Advertisement. Okay. It seemed that he was feeling something. Uchiha Itachi turned his head to look, and saw the 3 complete Susanoo shining with brilliance beside Mr. Luyun. Blue. Purple. Even red. What? Master can use my Susanoo. Uchiha Itachi was shocked. His Susanoo. Only he could use it. Outsiders could not think of this way, unless he got his eyes, but this condition is extremely harsh, fundamentally impossible to complete. How to do it? Uchiha Itachi was shocked. Under a brief panic, Kizaru's sky cloud sword slashed from top to bottom, slashing nearly tens of meters long, directly dividing the field. Fighting with us, you are still distracted, but you will fall into the wind. Kizaru's lazy voice came out, and then, the sky cluster cloud sword smashed straight down, showing its sharp edge. 10-fist sword. Uchiha Itachi hurriedly raised his right hand. The 10-punch sword slashed upwards, resisting the slash of the cloud sword below. The mystery of Ryun Uchiha Itachi couldn't understand. He couldn't understand. Dash. There are 3 kinds of Susanoo. Do your family have this ability? The old man with a sword has a solemn face like water, and there is no mood to fight at this moment. This kind of ability belongs to our family, but only I can use 3 of them. Others can only use 1, or even 1 cannot be used. Qin Luo slowly said, making 5 elders' eyes twitched. Then what is your relationship with Qin Luo? Humph, this kid, I have been very troubled with me lately. Qin Luo said, pretending to be gloomy, and deliberately disappointed. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 185. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Who is Hidan? Recalling the man who couldn't die wearing a red cloud and black robe, the old man with a sword showed a fierce look. Hidan. He is my subordinate. Why? Have you seen him? More than ever. He has been defeated by us now and is impelled down. The beige-haired old man stared at his eyes and said coldly, a month later, I plan to execute him publicly and execute him. Oh, then I wish you all, kill him sooner. Qin Luo said lightly, and then, the red Susanoo dashed across the sky and killed the old man with the sword. Magic sword. Infinite torture. The old man with the sword flashed his pupils, his figure was fleeting, and immediately appeared directly on top of the red Susanoo. His feet stepped on Susanoo's shoulders like dragonflies, and stepped toward him. The blue Susanoo controlled by Qin Luo was chopped out with a long sword, and a strange wave similar to the rules emerged, and even the space began to be distorted, extremely fierce. Kill him together. As long as this person is killed, his abilities will disappear. The old man with a sword understands that all of this is controlled by Luyun. As long as Luyun is defeated or beheaded, these Susanoos will disappear completely. At that time, this terrifying technique will naturally destroy itself. Deadpool. The beige color old man 213 raised his mouth and gave a low drink, and then the dead waiter next to him understood. The 2 figures suddenly burst out, and then the beige color hair old man's legs roared in the wind, like a long dragon, causing a sonic boom and kicking. Lie to Chin Luo's Huns. And Deadpool, standing in the air, his hands were sealed, and a series of jerky and incomprehensible marks kept coming out of his hands, and the surrounding space was covered with a very strange feeling. Thinking that you can defeat me? Chin Luo raised his eyelids lightly, and the black inflammation on the purple Susanoo's right hand suddenly turned into 3 arrows. After it was substantive, the power was even greater. Advertisement. With one hand, a strong wind surging violently, countless winds and waves emanating from the purple spirit bow, ripples spread out, and heart-shaking fluctuations are brewing strangely. Swish, swish, swish. Chin Luo didn't give 5 elders too much chance. He let go of his palms, and the 3 arrows carried the black flames that burned everything. They shot at the 3 people, causing a series of explosions in the air. Even above the void, the black flames began to burn. These 3 arrows shot 3 people. One of them was an old man with beige hair, one was an old man with a sword, and the third was a man in black. But the last Deadpool concealed his figure. Even if Chin Luo vibrated with air, he could not be captured. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. But since he is protected by Susanoo and his physical body is at full level, these are completely fearless. No matter how powerful the enemy is, Chin Luo still stays still. Even if it was a sneak attack, Chin Luo didn't panic at all. Boom, boom. The long sword whizzed and the arrows flew. The purple arrows that burned black flames became bigger and bigger in front of the 3 people, and the old man with the sword raised the sword in both hands and directly cleaved strange moves. Shinigami. Distorting the space. The old man with the sword shouted angrily. Then, the space in front of him was rippling, and the arrow shot at him was also strangely affected by this fluctuation and distorted. Then, the old man with the sword succeeded. Avoided this deadly arrow. Advertisement. The beige hair on the other side also flickered, and the golden tempest kick slashed out, and the figure retreated, but the arrow black flame still scratched the clothes, and blood came out. Ah! The beige-haired old man shrank his pupils, and a strong sense of crisis directly attacked his mind. The black inflammation on his right hand continued to burn, making his face extremely distorted. Just as the beige-colored old man retreated madly, Chin Luo's figure flashed, and instantly came to the beige-colored hair, controlling the purple Susanoo. Black inflammation turned into a physical weapon and turned out, and a black flame was turned into a weapon. The covered blade exudes terrifying power. Flame control. The black flame turned into a sharp blade, and the black flame burned outside the sharp blade. Flame control is an enhanced version of Amaterasu. There is no actual black inflammation. It can be turned into a substantive weapon according to Chin Luo's wishes. The combat power is outrageous. Just as the sharp blade pierced the eyebrows of the beige-haired old man, a weird wave suddenly spread. Immediately in front of Chin Luo, a purple-black protective shield appeared directly, and 4 huge pillars pierced the sky and the earth crashed. When it fell, there were translucent lavender-black light curtains on all sides, descending directly from the void. For a moment, Chin Luo's purple and blue Susanoo were blocked in the air, and then, the 2 gaps above and below the void were doubled. Dao light curtain shrouded. With a bang, Chin Luo was sealed in this kind of light shield, and the sharp blade in his hand was cut on the light curtain, and the huge and amazing energy was absorbed by the light curtain. Okay. The beige-haired old man slowly stood up, looking forward with lingering fear. The cold sweat behind him had already soaked his clothes. At the same time, the arrow screamed and directly penetrated the dead servant who was engraved on the void. The black flame burst out frantically and directly swept his whole body. Under the scorching heat of this black flame, his face was extremely distorted. But at this moment, Deadpool had already finished the seal, so there was a trace of madness and perversion in his ferocious eyes. Luyun, die. In this cage of heaven and earth, no one can cross out. Advertisement. Under the tremendous thrust of the sharp arrow, Deadpool was taken directly out of the sky, turning into flying ash with a bang. Above the sky, above the huge cage similar to the 4 purple flame formation, a figure appeared. He was wearing a black robe and a face mask. He couldn't see his face. As soon as he appeared, Chin Luo knew that he had just disappeared. Deadpool. This person, a stranger who has similar spatial abilities to Deadpool. This Deadpool must have been arranging something similar to the formation just now. Could it be that all Deadpool have this ability? Chin Luo wrinkled, frowning. He recalled that when he was fighting with the bald guy, there was also a Deadpool, and that Deadpool was a space-capable person, who could open the door in the void and reach another world. He couldn't be defended. To understand, Chin Luo's eyes moved slightly. Under his control, the purple Susano's right hand hit, and a black flame arrow shot out directly, hitting the purple black light shield, and the entire space was rippling. But his arrow disappeared without a trace, and did not penetrate the light shield. Sure enough, this is also a spatial ability. Chin Luo murmured softly, letting out a sigh of relief. Huh, kid. Don't want to escape. This kind of prison is just for you. Lu Yun. You ruined my holy place and killed me, Deadpool. Today, you will never escape. You have to consider the two choices, death or life. The beige-haired old man calmed his mind in disdain. Sarcastically, with a swearing look, believing that Chin Luo has become their prey and cannot escape at all. Don't resist with your hand. It is impossible to escape. Unless. You are loyal to me. The old man with the sword sneered again and again. In their eyes, Chin Luo's tentative action was a stubborn resistance with the hand. Sucker punch. Haha. Be loyal to you. Tell me, what are you? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 186. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Tell me, what kind of thing are you? Lu Yun's tone was contemptuous, with a hint of contempt and playfulness, without any confusion about his situation. Asshole. The old man with a sword sullen his face and yelled angrily. It seems that you are toasting and not eating or punishing wine. Give you a chance and don't cherish it. Then. You go to hell. Do it. Beige-colored hair pupils burst out with a cold glow, his hands quickly formed a seal, and Deadpool was also on the void. His hands were close to the purple-black mask, and the creepy and weird fluctuations were passed out in an instant. Boom. In a daze, inside the purple-black mask, the sky above the light curtain changed. The original lavender transparent light curtain suddenly changed. Then, an arrow fell quickly and shot towards the flowing clouds. Those arrows passed through the light curtain, bringing waves of heart-palpitating waves, and whizzed down. Similar to the ability to move in space. Chin Luo thought, and murmured, these arrows all shot out from inside the light curtain, but there was no arrow outside the light curtain. That is to say, this light curtain is connected to another world and can be instantaneous. Attracts incomparably powerful power that can destroy the mountain. As Chin Luo recalled it in his mind, those arrows fell down like a violent storm and hit Susano. Ding ding ding. There was a crisp sound, leaving a few superficial marks on Susano, and then these arrows fell fragilely. Is it just such a little ability? Chin Luo felt the slight energy fluctuations transmitted from Susano, slightly disdainful. Advertisement. This is just an appetizer, the good show is yet to come. The old man with the sword looked indifferent and smiled strangely. And Chin Luo looked at these old immortals curiously. Chin Luo has Kamui in his hands. All the different spaces cannot restrain him. The only person who knows that he has the ability of Kamui is that he has been distinguished by Chin Luo. Another bald guy controlled by heavenly gods. Without Chin Luo's order, the bald guy would not talk too much. In other words, the old man with the sword and the beige-haired old man in front of him didn't know that he was holding the trump card, otherwise how dare you ridicule Chin Luo so carelessly? Hey, 5 elders, these methods of you are too weak, what other methods, let's show them all. Chin Luo really felt that the power of these arrows was too weak, and it was not enough to tickle. The old man with a sword showed a fierce look and stared at Chin Luo with an idiot look. Little devil, this is boring for you. Snow is all over the world. 3,000 frozen. The old man with beige hair roared out. Suddenly, the lavender light curtain on one side changed rapidly. Between the fluorescent flickers, everything in the lavender light curtain was directly transformed. Qin Luo turned his head and looked at the light purple light curtain. Just like a display screen, this natural disaster is being staged, but this natural disaster will soon befall Qin Luo. Snow is full of heaven and earth. Isn't it just an avalanche? But this is enough. In the picture, a snow-capped mountain towers into the clouds, breaking through the sky, and above the snow-capped peak, the thick snow covering the entire mountain seems to have received a strong tremor. All the snow, like a storm, crazily toward Qin Luo rushed. The scene was vast, and the sea of snow rolled, like a horse galloping. The giant tree with a width of 10 meters on one side was directly broken into 2 pieces, swept by the snow, and came whizzing. Susano. Black Flame. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Susano. Yada Mirror. Qin Luo controlled the 3 complete bodies of Susano. His hands flashed quickly, countless rays of light flashed out, black flame arrows shot towards the rolling snow waves, countless snowflakes splashed, bringing a shocking power. Die. In the face of natural disasters, any manpower becomes fragile. The old man with a sword smiled contemptuously, and stood aside like a show. Huh, what about Susano? How about even if it is strong enough to be abnormal? In front of space, any strong will be crushed. Fortunately, we spent 800 years and finally found a trace. Die. Deadpool also squatted on the ground, holding the protective shield with both hands, and sneered again and again. Boom. Advertisement. The huge snow waves are like landslides, and rivers collapse. Countless ice and snow washed over, and the whole world was trembling, the momentum was shocking, and the horses galloped. Boom. Suddenly, on Susano, a huge sword several hundred meters long appeared directly, slashing towards the snow-capped mountains in front, countless snowflakes tumbling, but still can't stop this trend. 5 Rashomon. Suddenly, Qin Luo bit his finger, and the bloodline dropped. Then, his hands were directly on the void. Suddenly, a ripple spread out from his hands, densely packed with mysterious writing similar to the seal spell. It spread out, directly forming a circle, and in the center of the field, Qin Luo stood here. Boom, 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 boom. While breathing, outside the light curtain in front, suddenly 5 Rashomon gates appeared, one after another solemnly, rising from the ground, above the red gate, all kinds of terrifying runes, and even a huge, hideous rune were engraved on the red gate. His grimace, like Shinigami, with his big mouth open, is extremely fierce. In front of the gate, 2 thick iron chains connected to the mouth of the bull are cold and biting, and a majestic temperament of vicissitudes is revealed. 5 Rashomon. Each one is extremely heavy, enough to withstand the impact of 100 times and 1,000 times. The defense is so amazing that it's abnormal. Advertisement. Boom. The snow-capped mountains hit the Rashomon, the powerful became impact, and all vented to the Rashomon. Then, on both sides of the Rashomon, the snow rushed out frantically, but the avalanche just like a bamboo was stopped for a few seconds, and then, Rashomon was uprooted by the violent impact of the avalanche and flew out directly. Immediately, hit the second Rashomon. Boom. The mighty powerful roar, and the snow waves soared, greatly delaying the momentum of the impact. The third way. Broken. Fourth way. Broken. When reaching the fifth path, the power of the avalanche has been weakened a lot. Bang. The fifth Rashomon. Break. Then, after weakening most of the energy, the avalanche slowly crashed into Susano. Is that just a little imposing? It's also not good. Qin Luo smiled lightly, but with the use of 5 layers of Rashomon, most of the energy was resisted, and their strength was so weak. If they used their full strength, these avalanches, it's simply not enough. Asshole. There is even a means. The old man with a sword shrank his pupils, and after he noticed the defensive Rashomon, he no longer had the posture that he had made at the time. A touch of fear rose in my heart. Chapter 187. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Use a trick. Although it consumes power. But this way, it also saves a lot of trouble. The beige-haired old man stared at Luyun with a deep gaze. Trick. This is used in times of crisis. But, this can only be done. The old man with the sword agreed, and the two of them flew again with both hands, quickly forming a seal. Standing in the void, Deadpool also looked at Lu Yun with a vigilant expression, with deep worry and anxiety in his eyes. When he uses this sealing techniques, only 2 dead waiters can be stabilized. One person can stabilize the light curtain, and the other person needs space for communication. The original work of the 2 people is now all let him perform it, and the pressure can be said to be a surge. When the anxious collision continues, this light curtain will collapse in less than 10 minutes. At that time, they will be finished. This killer move has completely lost its effect. It is as difficult as reaching the sky if you want to catch Lu Yun. Therefore, the time left for 5 elders cannot be delayed, and they cannot tolerate a single bit of waste. Quickly flipping his hands, a series of jerky and incomprehensible runes were condensed, and the handprints were fast, and the afterimages passed by, shining with invisible brilliance. After that, the 6 light curtains all changed, just like water curtains, all of them began to fluctuate. Above the sky, a burning meteorite of about 10 meters fell, and the light curtain below flashed huge iron guns that stood upside down, emitting a cold light. Advertisement. At the same time Qin Luo was surprised, countless violent auras burst out of the light curtains in the 4 directions, southeast, northwest. In the east, long flames burned out, burning mountains and rocks, and rushing towards Qin Luo. In the west, a huge stream of water swept across, carrying a huge momentum of thunder. On the south side, high mountains shook violently, and countless boulders splashed down from above. The huge boulders smashed directly at Qin Luo. In the north, huge cannonballs with a length of 1 meter and a width of pitch black leapt out densely. Is this your trick? It's really strong. Qin Luo smiled and looked around, calmly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Little devil, it's too late to beg for mercy, otherwise, the old man will have to reluctantly kill you. The old man with a sword showed a fierce threat. Lu Yun, if you want to surrender to me, we don't need to investigate or even kill you for the fault of destroying the Holy Land before, surrender or not. Think about it yourself. The beige-haired old man stood in the void with his eyes indifferent, but he still threw the olive branch towards Lu Yun. If Lu Yun is brought under his command, their world government will have fresh blood injected, chasing the main ones. 5 elders took a fancy to Lu Yun. Yun's earth-shaking ability. Even his 2 subordinates have such a strong power. Not tempted, that is fake. They have lived for 810,000 years. Who hasn't seen anyone? But nowadays, heaven-defying such as Lu Yun can be called a perverted evildoer, there are so few. Even a few stubborn old guys were moved. Either die, or surrender. You have to think about it during the lifetime of death. Advertisement. Finally, the old man with the sword warned again that the threat in his words was very obvious. If I don't want to die, and don't want to surrender. Qin Luo muttered to himself, smiling lightly and looking down at everything. Hey, that's the case. A trace of regret was drawn across the face of the old man with a sword. Soon, his eyes were once again wrapped in fierce light. Then don't blame us for being impolite. Kill, kill, the 2 elders yelled, and the entire light curtain quivered slightly. In the east, west, south, north, and even above, countless powerful energies squeezed towards Qin Luo. In an instant, countless sea water collided with the flames, shocked. There was a shocking explosion, countless smoke and dust evaporated, and the entire light curtain was blurred. Then, high mountains rammed, burning mountains to fill the sea, and the entire void was exploding. In the end, shells exploded, rocks pierced through the sky, stormy waves hit the shore, and the space was lit up with fires, and countless black smoke billowed. Rising, the meteorite fell from the sky, like a late sunset, smashing down. In the whole other world, all the attacks are intertwined at one point, countless waves splashing, stones bursting, and ruining everything here. In the end, the entire light curtain was extremely unstable, and Deadpool's complexion was directly distorted to the extreme. With full energy delivery, cold sweats continued to burst out, and he was obviously unable to do so. Puff! A mouthful of blood spurted out, and Deadpool was bounced out by this violent and terrifying ability, spurting blood. Without the suppression and stability of Deadpool, the entire light curtain shuddered violently, and finally, cracks appeared. With a bang, turning into debris, and the natural disaster-like scene was at the moment when the light curtain shattered, stopped abruptly. In the entire void, only 2 old men and 1 Deadpool were left, and the bodies of Susanoo and Shin Luo had completely disappeared. Is it dead? The old man with the sword gasped, staring blankly at the front, leaving no trace of the void, and he was in a daze. Advertisement. It should be dead. If this kind of power does not die, it is no longer human, but divine power. Well, it's fine if you die. You go see what happened to Deadpool. It's too difficult for him to stabilize the space by himself. The old man with the sword commanded, and he looked at the war between Naval Headquarters and Nine Tails and Uchiha Itachi. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi and Nine Tails also saw the battlefield of 5 elders. The 3 powerful Susanoo disappeared into the sky, and they would definitely be noticed. Asshole, blame you little ghosts, now the master is gone. I want to let all of you be buried with you. After Nine Tails couldn't perceive Shin Luo, it was furious, and roared out, a huge tail beast before Hungary. The artillery condensed and formed, and then slammed into the naval headquarters personnel. Merely Luyun, dare to fight against Lord 5 Elders, death is his best end. This is the result of fighting against Justice 5.1. In the face of absolute justice, those who try to undermine justice, no matter when I won't succeed. Sakazuki looked cold, completely unmoved. Uchiha Itachi also had a solemn expression. He also saw the disappearance of Ryayun-sama, and he couldn't help but feel a little puzzled. Nine Tails, what is Ryayun-sama's ability? Uchiha Itachi asked. Master Luyun, naturally very strong. Then Ryayun-sama can even use 3 Susanoo at the same time. If Ryayun-sama really has this ability, then he can also use another ability, you know Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Obito. You mean Kamui. When Uchiha Itachi was reminded, Nine Tails' eyes widened suddenly, and then, the whole face relaxed, and the gloomy mood just now disappeared. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 188. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Yes, it's Kamui. Uchiha Itachi smiled faintly, and a few words dispelled Nine Tails' worries and anger. Kamui. What is that? Gengu Kong was puzzled, and he was a little worried, so he asked immediately. Kamui is a kind of power. Nine Tails grinned treacherously as she squeezed her teeth out and slammed into Sakazuki. Little devil, justice is not what you think. Today, let the old man educate you what justice is. I can't help myself. Sakazuki's eyes were cold, his right hand was raised, the lava spewed frantically, and he slammed into Nine Tails. Nine Tails moved its body and flexed its 9 divine tails. These scarlet tails resembled immortal locks, evading many killer moves, and moved closer to Sakazuki. The 3 tails swooped directly from the air, 3 directions, completely blocked Sakazuki's retreat. Shave. Sakazuki sensed the danger, his body flashed suddenly, and flew towards the sky. Want to escape? After Nine Tails looked at it, his tail raised. Then, the sky above Sakazuki was blocked by Nine Tails' scarlet tail covered with a rich 12 chakra. Asshole. Sakazuki shouted angrily, turned his head and fled downwards. At this time, another tail blocked his way. The sky above, below, left and right, front and back, is blocked by the 7 or 8 god tails. There is no retreat, no escape. Heaven dog. Unable to escape, Sakazuki was extremely stunned and his face was extremely distorted. As soon as he stretched out his right hand, the huge lava stone in the state of a wolf dog hit his tail, and the violently burning lava directly bit the tail. Humph. Advertisement. After Nine Tails sensed the pain, she hurriedly threw the lava out, and then several other tails crushed Sakazuki, trying to hang him. Boom. Sakazuki, who was entangled, turned into a lava stone under the suppression of a huge force, and then fell. Then, the whole body was condensed and formed again, and moved far away. What a troublesome ability. Nine Tails looked upset when seeing Sakazuki using Logia's elemental ability to evade the ultimate move. Akainu. Are you okay? Sengoku jumped to Sakazuki's side with a solemn expression on his face. Nothing. Sakazuki's mouth was up and down, and his gasping was a little quick. His breath was sluggish, and he was slightly injured. Injured. Sensing Sakazuki's abnormality, Sengoku asked hurriedly. Well, I was slightly injured. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Yo yo yo. Sakazuki, you are a capable person. Elementalization can still hurt. This is unscientific. Kizaru looked lazy, pouting a little bit. Huh, you'll know if you try it. Sakazuki lowered his hat and looked upset. On the other side, the light curtain shattered, and Shin Luo and Sandao Susano disappeared in front of 5 elders. As the old man with the sword and the beige old man were slack, the space behind them was distorted, a spiral black hole, ripples appeared in the void, and a huge black hole that was several tens of meters long emerged. This is, the old man with the sword exclaimed in his heart, looking forward, his pupils shrinking. Advertisement. The old man with beige hair was panicked and his eyes were deep. The most shocking thing is Deadpool. At this moment, he widened his eyes and said in disbelief, Space fluctuation, this is space fluctuation. Just when everyone noticed the rotating black hole, Shinluo controlled the entire body, Susano slowly stepped out of it. Seeing the enemy appear unscathed, the old man with the sword was extremely shocked, as if he had seen a ghost, he couldn't utter a word. Not dead. It's impossible. How could he use his spatial ability? Who is he? When everyone was shocked, Shin Luo's eyes were cold. The red Susano directly grabbed the 10-fist sword and slashed towards the Deadpool. Let's start with you first. Shin Luo's eyes were indifferent and his tone of voice was cold, but at this moment he had no intention of playing around at all, and he planned to make a quick battle. No. I can't die. I can't die. Deadpool looked at the sword that was struck at him in fear, and his trembling right hand tore a gap in the space, and he planned to escape in. However, the sharp sword was so fast that it pierced Deadpool's right leg, but Deadpool's body had entered the crack in the space, and he was about to escape Shinluo's claws. Little devil, as long as I don't die, I will wait for me to kill you in the future. The dead servant screamed and laughed grinningly. Destroy me. You deserve it too. Shin Luo's eyes were fierce, and the killing intent was sharp. Seal. With Shin Luo's low drink, things similar to the rules on the Shaquan sword flew out, straight from the sword, and in an instant, countless chains swarmed from the Shaquan sword, and at this moment, cracks in the entire space also began to heal. Ha ha ha. I must be able to escape today, kid, waiting for the next time you die. Advertisement. Deadpool's voice became colder and colder, like a ghost in the abyss of hell. After hearing it, his hair was horrified and made people feel uncomfortable. At this moment, the iron chain on the 10-fist sword directly penetrated the illusion, penetrated the flesh, and directly restrained the soul of Deadpool. Laughing wildly, the arrogant Deadpool voice stopped abruptly, the indulgence and disdain on his face changed drastically, his scalp was numb, and a strong sense of crisis quickly climbed into his mind. 510. But, it's all too late. Die. Shin Luo spoke indifferently, and then, on top of the 10-punch sword, a translucent, vain and non-substantial soul, was detained, and was pulled into the 10-punch sword by an iron chain. The 10-fist sword, known as the Sword of Sealing, is not difficult to seal a soul. Let go of me. Let go of me. The soul yelled in horror, but there was no power to resist. After all this, Shin Luo took the sword back, and the soul of Deadpool was completely sealed by Shin Luo. In this scene, the old man with a sword and the old man with beige hair stared wide and at a loss. Now, how do you want to die? Shin Luo turned his head, looked at the two people who were completely at a disadvantage, and said with a smile instead of a smile. Death. You are the one who was dying today. The old man with the sword was fierce, and as the long sword in his hand was flying, the blades whizzed and rushed towards Shin Luo. However, Shin Luo didn't mean to be like a big enemy at all. Now these two old immortals are at the end of the battle, and the killer move just now has obviously exhausted the two. The current moves are nothing but furs, and they won't hurt Shin Luo at all. Boom. A sword light hit Susano, leaving only a simple mark on it, which did not cause substantial damage to Qin Luo at all. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Report. 25%. Chapter 189. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. 5 elders, I would like to advise you, either surrender, or die. Qin Luo's gaze was faint, standing on the void like a master, standing with his hand held down, quietly looking at 5 elders who were extremely panicked in front of Qin Luo. Submission. Kid, are you kidding? You want me to surrender? What a wishful thinking. The old man with the sword sneered, with a mocking expression on his face. Wishful thinking. Qin Luo raised his head, black flame turned into a black flame arrow, and quickly shot at the old man with the sword. The arrow whizzed, and a cloud of smoke was brought up from the rear, and shot towards the old man with the sword. Now, the two of them don't plan to continue head on with Qin Luo. If they fight one person, they will definitely lose, but there are still countless Marines fighting underneath, and they are already in a mess. It's as difficult to escape. Kill. The old man with the sword screamed, and the long sword slashed quickly. A golden shimmering edge, like a sky-killing sword, exuding a brilliant light, swept directly towards Qin Luo's Susanoo. Yata mirror. With a move from the left hand, the Yata mirror emerged, and the long blade slashed directly on the Yata mirror, resisting it all. Don't hold your hand in stubborn resistance, surrender or die. I'm giving you one last chance. Qin Luo has almost played, lack of interest, and directly give a chance to both. Surrender. Give birth. Unyielding. Die. Advertisement. There are only 2 roads in front of 5 elders. The old man with a sword and the old man with beige hair looked at each other, and they could see the helplessness and wry smile in each other's eyes. Fighting with Luyun is not an opponent at all. If you run away, you have no chance at all. Too much nonsense. Golden Tempest kick. Flame control. Seeing the beige and red-haired old man blasted and kicked, Qin Luo controlled the purple Susanoo, and the black flames whizzed from behind. The wind was raging, and the whole Susanoo directly soared into the sky. The spirit bow and arrows disappeared, and the black flames quickly transformed. In the end it became a sharp-edged sword, the tip of the sword shone with cold light, black flames burned, and it slashed directly at the old man with beige hair. Boom! The wind swept across, and the golden tempest kicked on Susanoo's shoulder. It felt a little bit. Soon, the sharp sword in Qin Luo's hand was leaning upwards, bringing strong winds, and even the sea water below was Qin Luo split into 2 pieces with one sword. Seeing the sharp blade slaying fast, the beige-haired old man shrank his pupils, his leg muscles burst, and green veins were densely covered. Then, he stepped a dozen times in 1 second. With the powerful repulsive force, the whole person was like an arrow from the string. Rushed out quickly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Want to escape? Qin Luo's eyes were cold, his figure flickered, and the sharp blade rushed away. Asshole. Shinigami. Beheaded. The old man with a sword saw his companion being threatened, and he chopped with a long sword, and a slashing wave that stimulated the soul rose to the sky, swiftly killing Luyun. Puff. That golden flash of slash, after encountering Susanoo, seemed to have disappeared, and did not cause any harm to Qin Luo's Susanoo. Immediately, Qin Luo had a slash rushing into his mind. Soul attack. Qin Luo muttered to himself, and then the slash directly slashed on Qin Luo's body, attacking the soul. Advertisement. Pouch. There was a crisp sound. Then, the old man with the sword showed madness and laughed wildly without reservation. Jia ha ha ha. Kid. My sword is a soul attack. You. Die thoroughly. Qin Luo was stunned, feeling the soul attack. To be honest, the damage didn't have any power. Qin Luo's body had already reached the full level, and according to the attribute bonus, his soul had already reached the full level. In an outrageous situation, this old man with a sword slashed, at best, similar to the power of tickling, and even weaker than the power of tickling. Jayahaha. What about Luyun? Don't you still die by my sword? My sword can chop not only the flesh, but also the soul. Little devil. You are worthy of death. The mocking laughter reverberated in the sky. Seeing that Lu Yun did not move, the old man with the sword believed that he could succeed. No matter how powerful your body is, there is no way to face this kind of attack against the soul. Stronger than Whitebeard and others, it is just that the physical body is strong and the ability is abnormal, but his soul does not have the slightest protective measures. For example, your physical defense is 80%, and others will hit you with a single blow, and you will not lose blood at all, but your magic resistance is 0, and the spell attack will kill you. And this thunderous blow of the sword-wielding old man was the final killer move. In this world, there are only 5 people who understand the method of soul cultivation, that is, 5 elders, who have lived for 800 years, and the others can be said to be in the infant stage. Even Qin Luo is a perverted soul who has been hit by mistake. If the soul of 5 elders is compared with the soul of Qin Luo, it will be like a firefighter vying for glory on the bright moon. In addition to looking for death, it is still looking for death. But all this, 5 elders did not know. At this time, the old man with a sword is complacent about his attack. This attack is a soul attack, without fear of any strong. This kind of trick is to be used in a foolproof, emergency time. Give the enemy a fatal blow. Jia ha ha ha. Flowing clouds are gone, everyone will stop me. The majestic voice of the old man with the sword rushed out, and immediately, the fire was fighting below. All the hot people stopped, and for a while, the entire battlefield was quiet. Come down. Advertisement. What? Lu Yun is gone. Gengukong looked up with a startled expression. Garp, Sengoku, Crane, Kizaru, Akainu, Aokiji. All raised their heads together. Uchiha Itachi and Nine Tails also looked up. How is it possible? The boss is the strongest. Who can kill him? Nine Tails' eyes were filled with unbelief, and she raised her mouth angrily. Dead. Impossible. If it's dead, why is Susanoo still? Uchiha Itachi also shook his head, he also didn't believe it. HMPH. Believe it or not, he is dead. Because his soul is dead. Really? When did Master 5 Elders tell a lie? See, Lu Yun has stopped moving. Asshole. See if the old man doesn't blast you into scum. Nine Tails, who didn't know the truth of the matter, had already jumped furiously. The tail beast artillery before Hungary had begun to take shape, and it was several times larger than the previous one. Amaterasu. Uchiha Itachi's pupils suddenly widened, and then, black flames sprayed out, directly separating the old man with the sword from Qin Luo, and avoiding the old man with the sword from committing suicide. Huh, kid, it's useless, he is dead. The old man with the sword looked down disdainfully, his tone cold. Who said I was dead? Suddenly, there was a sudden tremor above the void, a purple Susanoo covered with black inflammation, claws directly at the old man with the sword. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 190. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hyan's huge palm turned directly towards the old man with the sword in the void. Caught off guard, the old man with the sword, who was frantically mocking and contempt, was immediately pinched in his hand like a little chicken, and let him be slaughtered. Asshole. Why are you not dead? This is a soul attack. You are not afraid of a soul attack. Asshole. Let me go. Grabbed by Susanoo's giant hand, the old man with the sword burst into horror. His pupils were full of horror, and his whole body was struggling crazily. But in Susanoo's hands, how difficult is it to escape? Qin Luo ignored the crazy scream of the old man with a sword, and Chunin painfully exchanged 100,000 points for the swallow function. Swallow. Devil fruit. In a daze, Qin Luo's figure was completely separated from Susanoo, and the air brought up all the remnants, approaching the old man with the sword. The big red cloud and black robe figure stood in front of the old man with the sword like a ghost. Die. Qin Luo suddenly said. Immediately, he reached out with his right hand and digged into the heart of the old man with the sword. With a firm grasp, the old man with the sword suddenly shrank his pupils and a mouthful of blood spurted out. Asshole. Beige color head 940 hair. The old man's face was blue, seeing the old man with a sword spitting blood from his mouth, dying. Suddenly furious, the golden tempest kicked. Shenluo flew with his left hand, swelling into the wind, he slapped it out and directly resisted the person's shocking blow. With his left hand forcefully, he wanted to push outwards. The beige-haired old man suddenly flew out and took a dozen or so turns in the air to stabilize his figure. The old man with the sword felt the rapid passing of vitality in his body and the huge pain in his heart, his eyes widened in disbelief. Not long after, that old face of horror was replaced by madness. Advertisement. I can't die. You wait and be killed by me. After you, I must die in my hands. Crumbling. Qin Luo shrank his left hand and slapped it on the face of the old man with the sword. Then, one of his eyeballs was directly exploded by Qin Luo. Lu Yun. Waiting for my resurrection to avenge you, you wait for me. The old man with the sword threatened fiercely, his eyes were all wrapped in hatred. Sorry. You don't have such a chance. Qin Luo smiled lightly. Because from today, you will die completely. What are you kidding? I'm an immortal person. Can you kill me? The old man with a sword was fierce, coughing up blood in his mouth, and staring at Qin Luo with spiteful eyes, as if he possessed monstrous hatred. I know, you just ate 1/5 of the fruits of life. I know all of this, and now, I should get back what doesn't belong to you. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. How do you know? This is impossible. Such secrets. Apart from our 5 old guys, who else knows? The old man with the sword looked at the man in front of him in horror, his face panicked and at a loss. Aunt, there are so many things you don't know, die. Qin Luo is no longer talking nonsense. With a strong right hand, he twisted fiercely in his body. The whole heart was directly crushed by Qin Luo. A large amount of blood sprayed out from the torn Hungarian mouth. In an instant, the old man with the sword was angry. Absolutely died. When the old man's body slowly dissipated, his body flickered, Qin Luo sensed the vigorous life fluorescence, and muttered, "Is this the power of the fruit of life? It's really extraordinary." After finishing speaking, before the old man's body dissipated, a strong light burst out from Qin Luo's right hand, and the colorful rays of light suddenly sprayed out of the old man's body, and auspiciousness filled the sky. Advertisement. What's the matter? Gang Gukong stared at the sky with solemn eyes, shocked. What a rich life energy. What kind of ability is this on Earth? I felt the surging of blood in the body, and there was a kind of suppression. Pelusolino's eyes were solemn, and he looked at the old man in the distance. Countless strong men raised their heads one after another. Uchiha Itachi also had a solemn expression, feeling the auspicious light, and murmured, "Is it similar to Senju Hashirama's ability?" Asshole. I hate Senju Kid and Uchiha Kid most. Don't talk to me about Senju Hashirama, it reminds me of your ancestors, Uchiha Madara. Madara. Between the two quarrels, the beige-haired old man was the most shocked. His pupils shrunk, watching the scene in front of him. The memory that had been sealed for a long time was suddenly opened, and it rushed into his mind like a torrent. Death, fear, cannon fire, devil fruit tree. The 5 of them ate the biggest fruit of life, and the scenes were completely outlined by these divine lights. How is this possible? The fruit of life, but the most powerful fruit, this surging life ability, is the same as the feeling at the time. Why does this happen? There is no change after our death. Why is this life energy apparent? Come out. The beige old man was trembling with fear and palpitations, and his face was pale, standing in the void with a numb scalp and muttered. This is the same scene as when they cut the fruit of life at that time. The sky is full of glow and energy is soaring. This familiar fluctuation and the perception that blood is thicker than water are definitely the fruit of life. Advertisement. This is a sign that the fruit of life is manifesting again. This is absolutely impossible. The beige old man showed fierce brilliance, and he grew a lot older in an instant, and a strong sense of fear burst into his eyes. Qin Luo ignored the beige color old man. He has only more than 110 million points now, and he can only swallow this devil fruit once and extract the devil fruit ability from their bodies. At this moment, Qin Luo slowly realized that the luminous glow rapidly condensed, and then, the internal organs, flesh and blood, pipes, and skin of the old man with the sword, as if they had experienced thousands of years, quickly weathered and rotted, and finally, the whole body turned gray. Unrecognizable, when 1/5 of the fruit of life was condensed and formed, the body of the old man with the sword burst into pieces with a bang, turned into powder, and dissipated in the sky. Universal pull. Qin Luo looked at the long sword that was flying down, and with a move with his left hand, a strong suction force spread out and directly wrapped around the long sword. After a short while, Qin Luo was caught in his hand, holding a sword in his left hand and the fruit of life in his right hand. Looking at the mysterious fruit surrounded by mist, the old man with beige hair and hair was terrified. As his throat rolled, cold sweat broke out. He knew exactly what fruit it was. Life. Fruit. The beige-haired old man was shaking, as if seeing a ghost. He ran away quickly. His scalp was numb at the moment, and he didn't have the least thought to resist. Want to escape? Qin Luo's expression was indifferent. A spirit bow appeared on the purple Susano, his right hand extended, and a mysterious sharp arrow wrapped in black inflammation penetrated the void and shot away. Boom. Chapter 191. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The black flame god arrow gleamed with dazzling divine light, directly across the sky, rushing out violently, the strong wind roared, and a violent aura was set off all around. Arrows rushed into the sky. As he approached, the beige-haired old man wanted to evade, but he could do whatever he wanted. The black flame arrow seemed to be spiritual, lying in the middle of his hong, and then the whole sharp arrow passed through. A large swath of blood splashed out, flying backwards towards the distance. Asshole. The beige-haired old man coughed up blood, his expression wilted, and an arrow pierced Hungarian lying down. The black flames were frantically devouring his flesh and blood, and it was impossible to extinguish it. Grown-ups. Gengukong's expression changed drastically, kicking the void, close to beige. The old man with colored hair. Grown-ups. The others shouted in surprise, their expressions flustered, and their figures flew away, trying to extinguish the black inflammation on the beige-haired old man. Steel bone. I must die today, you don't care about me. As the old man with beige hair was talking, another mouthful of blood spurted out, and people's minds were a little lost. You are the backbone of Marine. No damage is allowed. After the old man finished speaking, relying on the last mind, his hands quickly flew, and a series of complicated and obscure runes burst out and rushed into the void. At the same time, far away from here, the Holy Land Mary Geois. In the just-built World Government high-rise building, in a luxuriously decorated, gorgeous and rich hall, there are 3 elderly people standing with a few people in black. Advertisement. There are 3 of the remaining 5 elders, and the rest are Deadpool. There were 12 Deadpools, but 1 died last time, and 2 died this time, so there are only 9 Deadpools left here. They all looked serious and stood respectfully, and in front of them, 2 old men frowned and seemed to be thinking about something. My lord. 2 more life soul stones were broken. They seemed to have been ambushed. Fate soul stone. The curly-haired old man in it looked solemnly, and said, Fate soul stone is Deadpool life. The root, if Deadpool dies, this life soul stone will break. This time it is indeed in trouble. And it's a big trouble. Big brother. Our sacred stone has also changed. Suddenly, the door was opened vigorously, and an old man with a vertical white beard walked in. His expression was very gloomy, as if something important had happened. What happened? What happened? How many of them died? No, even if they are dead, they can be restored through the devil fruit ability. So death, for the 2 of them, is not a fear. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Big brother, this matter is not as simple as you thought now. The old man by Huji had a complicated expression and said in a panic. Why? Asked the curly-haired old man, frowning slightly when he heard the words. Because our sacred stone was not broken, one of the sacred stones was completely broken and turned into powder. And, it has not been restored to its original shape now. What? How could it be? The turbid old eyes of the curly-haired old man suddenly magnified, his voice increased several times, and there was an indescribable shock on his face. The sacred stone is the illusion of the 5 of them after eating the fruit of life. The sacred stone is there. They are born. This kind of sacred stone cannot be destroyed by any huge force, that is, unless their 5 elders completely die, and without the ability of the fruit of life, this kind of sacred stone will be completely turned into powder. If this kind of sacred stone is broken, it means that they are dead, but they can be resurrected again with the fruit of life. A complete stone. Advertisement. But now a sacred stone has turned into powder, but it is still recovering, which means that one of the 5 of them has died. It's impossible. We are people who eat the fruits of life. Any kind of attack is useless to us. Even if it is an attack on the soul, it is also ineffective. Who can kill us? The curly-haired old man stood up suddenly, his eyes full of disbelief. Big brother, but things have happened. Could something be wrong? Whose sacred stone is broken and turned into powder? Sword bearer. Asshole. There must be something wrong with this sacred stone. The curly-haired old man roared angrily, almost flying the building away. Okay. Just as the curly old man roared, their minds suddenly felt waves of feelings. It was the psychic perception from 5 elders, which was a secret technique. Space. Move. The old man with a vertical beard stared at the 2 old men, and suddenly the other bald old man frowned and exclaimed. Advertisement. This kind of move can only be performed by 5 elders. It seems that they are really in trouble, and they use this kind of thing to transfer. The curly-haired old man murmured, and then quickly jumped up and slammed his hands on the tabletop. Immediately, the whole tabletop exudes a brilliant light, glowing to the sky. Without waiting for the curly-haired old man's command, the other 2 old men fluttered with both hands quickly. A series of jerky and incomprehensible marks rushed into the table, and then the whole table became mysterious, and the tabletop ripples appeared like water. And then, a wave of heart-palpitating fluctuations spread wildly. 0. The remaining 9 dead servants also quickly signed their hands and joined the rescue. In New World, Qin Luo stood in the void, looking at the beige old man's hands getting imprinted, and his heart was slightly surprised. Suddenly, the entire void vibrated violently, and then, in front of the beige old man, a space appeared in an instant, and then, towards all the members of naval headquarters sucked away. Countless Marines lost their ability to resist. Under the powerful suction force, the whole person soared and turned into particles and crashed into space. Not long after, all the figures on the 20 warships disappeared, even the lieutenant general of the headquarters. Except for Garp, all disappeared without a trace. My lord. This is. Don't talk nonsense. I must die today, but you can't die. The beige old man yelled angrily, and then, with his right hand, a shocking force shot towards the marine backbone standing in place. Garp, Sengoku, Aokiji, Kizaru, Akainu, and even the steel bone hollow, were all sucked away by this huge force. Now it is not the strength of the old man alone, but the blessing of 3-5 elders and the help of 9 Deadpools, so this suction is earth-shattering. Looking at the hysterical roar of the beige and color old man, Qin Luo understood, this should be an escape, right? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Report. 25%. Chapter 192. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. It's space ability again. Do you want to escape? Qin Luo looked indifferently, and looked at all the figures in front of him, with a calm tone. Huh, kid, how about running away? You can't catch them at all. Today, the uncle will tell you. Just want to run away. What can you do with me? The beige-haired old man glared with his big eyes and roared fiercely. Let's escape. Then let them escape quickly. Anyway, for a while, they will die. Qin Luo's eyes were indifferent. In an instant, the black flame arrow shot out, directly piercing the beige head, black. The flame burned frantically, and then, the old man died in anger and was swallowed by the entire black flame. At the same time, everyone in naval headquarters also completed the transfer in an instant. the black hole also quickly healed, and the whole world was restored to clarity. Boss. Ninetails Demon Fox stopped releasing chakra, and leapt forward quickly to Chinluo. The host. Uchiha Itachi also controls Susanoo, standing here. Chinluo's eyes condensed. Looking at the countless corpses and the corpses of sea kings below, there was an indescribable feeling. Boom. 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 The three Susanoo disappeared. At this time, Chinluo's Mangekyo Sharingan changed to Rinnegan, his hands were sealed, and he stretched out directly. Round revolving heaven technique. Advertisement. With a low drink from him, the dark green light gushes out and directly spills into the sea. Then, those fluorescent lights penetrate into Sea King's body. In a moment, the originally dead and thorough Sea Kings opened his eyes again and stretched his body. Jump up and down. They screamed one by one and gestured to Chinluo, as if facing their master, respecting and admiring. Get down. Chinluo waved his hand and ignored it. The 20 warships below were all abandoned, and even the bodies of marine were thrown here. Just now, the beige-haired old man could only help them by forcibly moving the space, combining with several other old men, and moving these people away. This is what the old man with beige hair can finally do. Anyway, he is also dead. It is not up to him to decide how to die. All of this depends on how Chinluo does. Of course, the beige-haired old man still hopes that he can survive, but just now, he was completely mortal, because the old man with the sword died in front of him, and his soul was scattered, even their huge barrier. The fruits of life are swallowed by Chinluo. This kind of weird move is something that the beige and color old man never expected. But before he died, he was still a little excited. After all, this was an ordinary death, not the kind of complete death. If Chinluo performed the devouring technique again, the beige-haired old man would also be in trouble. Boss, what should I do now? Ninetails stood by, her scarlet tail wagging. Go and destroy the Holy Land. Chinluo murmured, disgusted with the undead beige-haired old man just now. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Ro. Uchiha Kid, do you go with the boss, or do you go back by yourself? Follow the master, it's too boring to go back. Uchiha Itachi said indifferently with a calm expression. Okay. Just as Chinluo planned to use Kamui to leave this place and head to the Holy Land, suddenly there was a message in his mind, which was a message of broken jade pieces. The Fishman Island. Are you here? Chinluo whispered, looking up at the location of the Fishman Island, pondering. Advertisement. What's wrong, boss? There is a business coming. Go to the Fishman Island first. After a moment of contemplation, Chinluo smiled. Then, Chinluo used Kamui, the space suddenly fluctuated, and the three of them stepped into it completely and disappeared. Without the war, the weather here slowly recovered, the dark clouds dissipated, the squally wind stopped, and the sun shone diagonally, reflecting on the sea, sparkling, giving people a dreamy feeling. The only thing that detracted from the scenery was the sea. The 20 broken warships slowly sank under the frenzied stirring of the sea. Countless sea water poured in. All the warships turned over and fell into the deep sea. The Holy Land of the world, Mary Geois. In the magnificent hall, 3 elders and 9 dead servants injected energy frantically, and then, a series of particles like gods burst out, turning into marines. The sprayed marines all looked embarrassed, their hair was messy, their clothes were wrinkled, and all the miserable wailing voices that appeared in the hall continued. Then, a few bright lights emerged, and the backbone of naval headquarters all shifted out. Steel Bone Empty, Sengoku, Garp, Kizaru, Aokiji, Akainu. Even the Ghost Spider, the Bastille and other lieutenants stood safe and sound. After doing all this, 5 elders all withdrew their hands, and the other 9 Deadpools also stopped. My lord, are they? Gengukong looked surprised. He looked at the 9 figures wearing black robes and masks. He had keen insight. As soon as he appeared, Gengukong felt the 9 figures with mysterious identities and powerful aura. This kind of powerful fluctuation is not weaker than Admiral, even slightly stronger than Admiral. Advertisement. But it is definitely the strong one. When is there such a strong person in this world? And still serving 5 elders? Could it be that this is a person cultivated by 5 elders personally? In an instant, the steel skeleton was thinking about 100 times, and various thoughts continued to emerge, but the surface was silent. The curly-haired old man looked at the look of Gangu Kong, but he said more. Get down. The curly-haired old man murmured in a low voice, waved his right hand, and the 9 dead waiters all bowed their heads and said yes, then disappeared with a bang. This is 5 elders' biggest support. If it weren't for today's emergency, these 9 Deadpools would never have been seen by Naval Headquarters. Seeing the 9 Deadpools disappear, even Admiral couldn't clearly capture how they disappeared, so all of them looked astonished. The 9 Deadpools gave them a very mysterious feeling, but 5 elders didn't say it, and they were inconvenient to ask more. My lord. Gangu Kong yelled with his head down as he saw 4.5 to 9 Deadpools disappeared. Steel, tell me the matter clearly, what's going on? The curly-haired old man came up and asked, feeling a little uneasy. How did their 5 elders survive so far? Not yet the fruit of life. The fruit of life is the fruit of the bug on the devil fruit tree. After a person dies, they will be resurrected by the fruit of life. After the original person dies, the devil fruit will recondensate on the devil fruit tree. It can be obtained again by picking it through 5 elders. That is to say, after the person who eats devil fruit dies, this ability will return to the devil fruit tree and grow again, but the ability of the fruit of life makes people immortal. No matter how you die, you will be resurrected through the fruit of life. After the resurrection, the fruits of life will still exist in the body because they are alive. In other words, as long as the fruit of life is eaten, this bug will repeat, forming an infinite loop. Chapter 193. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The 5 of them also rely on this kind of heaven-defying method to survive to this day, searching for the ultimate secret of the devil fruit tree. In fact, they are not really immortal, but they are also limited. For example, the devil fruit tree, which cannot be cut down anyway, is the wind that stirs the world. Without devil fruit, there would not be many forces, even this heaven-defying method. If the devil fruit tree is cut down, all of them will also die. This is almost nothing to think about. When the devil fruit tree is here, they live, and the devil fruit tree dies, they die. Today, all the people in the world who eat devil fruit, from another point of view, they are grasshoppers on a rope, but except for 5 elders, other capable people are being kept in the dark. Here, even the future 3 Admiral, Aokiji, Kizaru, Akainu, they also don't know this secret. The intelligence agency CP0 has no way of knowing. But the devil fruit tree was safe and sound, but their partner's soul stone burst into pieces and turned into powder, which proved that it was indeed a death. 5 elders didn't know what methods were used, what moves were used, and how 11 killed them. At this moment, the curly-haired old man with a scar on one side of his head, his face was extremely solemn, as if he had been filled with molten iron, and he couldn't help but look daunted. Advertisement. Gang Bone Kong, tell me exactly what happened. The curly-haired old man's old face was uncertain, and he asked in a deep voice. That's it. Gangu Kong said earnestly. At that time, the 2 adults were sailing at sea. The little devil Luyun brought 2 men to come, and we learned from it that Luyun and Shin Luo little devil were one family. What? A family? The curly-haired old man shot a cold light in his eyes, his face was as pale as paper, and he stood up in shock, with fear in his heart. Yes, they are all members of that mysterious family. I also took CP0 to investigate, but after a few months of investigation, there was still no progress. I thought this family would not exist. Unexpectedly, this Luyun, it turned out to be a member of this family. Asshole. If they are all in the same family, isn't our government going to face a major enemy? The curly-haired old man twitched his mouth and roared angrily, asshole Shin Luo. He actually belongs to the same family as Luyun. Then he took those 200 devil fruits, wouldn't it be meaningless? The curly-haired old man's pupils shrank, and his anger was extremely extreme. At first they knew that Shin Luo was very strong, and in this world, there was Luyun, a strong man. 5 elders planned to make trouble for the East and let Qin Luo deal with Luyun, so they only paid 200 devil fruits. Now, 5 elders did not expect that this Qin Luo and Luyun belonged to the same family. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Then let Qin Luo hit Luyun of his own family. Isn't this a joke? Tragic bastard. The vertical beard, slender old man kicked on the table, and the whole table was turned into dust and crashed. For a while, except for the old man controlled by Qin Luo with distinguished heavenly gods pretending to be angry besides, the other 2 old men are really ashamed and angry. Being sold by the enemy and counting the money for the enemy, this feeling is really frustrated and exploded. World government has always threatened others, and will not do things that do not take advantage of it. Now, it is good, but it has become Qin Luo to hold them world government, and have to follow it. Advertisement. This bastard Qin Luo, I am bound to kill him. The old man controlled by the distinguished heavenly gods pretended to be angry, and his face turned red. No. You kill him, and their family will retaliate against me. The old man with a vertical beard raised his eyebrows and retorted. Retaliation. The dignified world government still fears other people's reprisals. If people around the world know that our huge government fears a mysterious family, say it, our world government can still have majesty. Enough of you two. This matter needs a long-term plan. It's just this Qin Luo, really a bastard. This is 200 devil fruits, how many powerhouses he can make. What a loss. The curly-haired old man felt blood dripping from his heart. Regret the original decision. Grown-ups. Looking at the 5 elders who were arguing because of the empty sentence of the steel frame, it was also a little helpless. What's the matter? The curly-haired old man glared at him and said no good. My lord. It's true that Qin Luo and Luyun are the same family. However, listening to Luyun's tone, it seems to be a big holiday with Qin Luo. The 2 people have deep hatred, and the contradiction is very prominent. Huh. Hearing the words, the curly-haired old man raised his eyebrows and looked at Gangukong curiously. Clarify things clearly. What is the reason? In this way, when our army is fighting Luyun, from Luyun's words, it is guessed that Qin Luo has hatred with Luyun. This Qin Luo seems to be Luyun's thorn in his eyes, and he can't wait to get rid of it. Advertisement. This is a good opportunity, Lord. Hearing this, Lieutenant General he hurried forward and helped Gangukong to say something nice. My lord, in my opinion, this hatred between Qin Luo and Luyun is not a fake, but a real existence. Quote. As that's so. The curly-haired old man lowered his head and pondered for a moment. In this way, send CP0 to collect Qin Luo's news. If you see Qin Luo's figure, report it back immediately. In this way, we can 537 negotiate with him accurately and thoroughly. To overthrow Luyun, relying on the power of the world government, it is impossible to completely obliterate Luyun. This is very strong. The curly-haired old man said. A deep jealousy appeared in his eyes. Yes. Gang Bone stood up straight and nodded, his expression serious. Go and fix it. This time I lost a lot of money, so I don't have to say any more. After I go back, tell Zephyr to strengthen the training of Marine, so that Marine's overall quality can be trained. Second, send intelligence to mobilize scientists from all over the world. I have important things to order. The curly-haired old man gave orders in an orderly manner. Gangukong and the others took it down. Sending 5 elders and 2 Deadpools this time to pick up the dragon people is definitely a wrong choice. In order to avoid too much consumption, they used this method. If they use space to move from the beginning, they will not one person died. The only uncomfortable thing is that their strength will dissipate briefly, but this does not affect the rule of this world. But now, the old man with the sword has died, 5 people, 1 dead, their strength will be greatly weakened. Get out. When the curly-haired old man finished speaking, he closed his eyes, and his old face was deeply regretful. It was not a pity that his friend died, but because his combat power was lost too much. Report. 25%. Chapter 194. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. One of the 5 elders, although the battle strength is the martial, they have the infinite resurrection ability. Even if they are killed, they can resurrect like Xiaoqiang again, that is, immune to death forever. A marshal, and a marshal who will always immune to death, between the two, the latter must be stronger. In other words, losing a marshal 5 elders would not be too sad, but if losing a marshal of immune to death, it would be enough to cause them to take it seriously. First, they also have this ability. Since the enemy can restrain this ability, their original barrier in this world will immediately turn into fly ash. In other words, this fruit of life, apart from improving their combat power, the rest did not have the slightest bonus. In Luyan's eyes, what is the difference between them and the usual marshal? Retreat. Count the losses and report them. By the way, all the army, land, sea and air forces outside will be mobilized to implement a protection policy. World government, no loss is tolerated. The curly-haired old man said solemnly, his face becoming more embarrassed as he said it. Was blocked by a flowing cloud at the door, how could they not be aggrieved? Even Whitebeard, Roger, Golden Lion, and others are just making noise in New World. By the way, they bombard naval headquarters, but world government, to be honest, these big pirates still dare not move such crooked thoughts. Therefore, the world government and the Holy Land Mary Geois have always been people's ideal havens. No matter what happens, there will be no incidents in the Holy Land, because there are 5 elders sheltered here, and there are even a large number of marines stationed here. In a sense, if there were no Tianlong people, this would be an ideal place for people to worship and yearn. Advertisement. However, in just a few dozen days, the world government suffered 2 destructions. First, it was Flowing Cloud, directly hit by a shocking meteorite, destroying the world Holy Land Mary Geois. Once again, it was Qin Luo who summoned many ferocious monsters and destroyed the newly established Holy Land once again. Both of these times were the work of this mysterious family. Luyun, Qin Luo. The curly-haired old man murmured, his fists clenched, his sharp nails pierced into the flesh, causing a burst of pain. My lord, this time the naval headquarters has lost too much. All the warships, without exception, were thrown into the New World. These warships, during the battle, were affected and have reached the point of being scrapped. Whether to send Marine to General the warship get it back. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. No. The curly-haired old man waved his hand. 20 warships, if no one is guarded, will soon be swept by the sea. Now, I am afraid that they have fallen to the bottom of the sea. No need to think about 20 warships. Now, how many warships are there in naval headquarters? 2 main ships, 10 medium-sized warships, and 20 small warships. None of them are equipped with power plants, and the armament capability is also very weak. These dozens of warships are chasing and killing pirates, and they have broken down at sea. After the naval headquarters meeting, these warships were hidden. If they were forced to go out to deal with the pirates, the ability would be greatly compromised. What's going on? Isn't there hundreds of warships in naval headquarters? Excellent firearms, powerful warships. How can this family be left? The curly-haired old man asked with a sullen face, and questioned Gangukong. My lord. Steel-boned empty forehead sweated, and said nervously, last time I redeemed Akainu, Sengoku, and the strong men such as Tianlongren, it was 80 warships that were dispatched at that time, and the Qin Luo people did not capture them. It succeeded, but nearly 60 battleships were lost, and this time, another 20 battleships were lost, for a total of 80 ships. Advertisement. That's not right. I remember that naval headquarters can use at least 200 warships, right? Faced with the skeptical gaze, Gangukong really couldn't hide it, gritted his teeth and said, the last time our army fought Qin Luo in New World, all the combat forces were deployed. At this time, a man called Kaido, he directly attacked the headquarters of our army. This person was physically strong. Whether it was a weapon or artillery, hitting this person was like a tickling. The 2 lieutenants who stayed in naval headquarters were not opponents of this person at all. After a collision, Kaido was violently beaten, and after Kaido's raid, he grabbed one of them and went to Marine's warehouse. After taking away the 2 devil fruits, he also robbed the naval headquarters of the money that had been saved over the years. Having said this, Gengukong's face has been darkened to the extreme. This is really a shameful shame for naval headquarters in history. Go on. The curly-haired old man endured his anger and continued. This person not only robbed the money, but also destroyed dozens of remaining powerful warships of our army. Finally, he drove one and went out to sea in a big way. Asshole. What is this Kaido? Could he also belong to a mysterious family? The curly-haired old man roared, and at the same time thinking. According to the investigation, this person is a pirate who just got up in New World. His reputation and strength are far inferior to those of Whitebeard and Roger. The strength of this person is Admiral's level, but Kaido's strongest is not Admiral's strength, but can be called that invincible body. The two lieutenants reported this to me. The two used the finger pistol of Marine 6 styles, the Overlord spear, and instead of seriously injuring Kaido, the fingers of the two lieutenants were poked. Since then, judging everywhere, this guy's body is the most terrifying. Asshole. Do the world government and naval headquarters say they are attacked when they are attacked? They say they are captured when they are captured. Collect all the Marines and catch this Kaido first. The majesty of our world government is not this kind of shrimp soldiers. It can be slandered. The curly-haired old man yelled in rage, and was smoked by his anger. When did naval headquarters be taken so casually? Say you get beaten up. Where is the face? Advertisement. My lord, I'm urging the boatmen to build a ship. I will be able to reform a warship force in about half a month. At that time, I will personally send someone to catch this Kaido. The reward order is issued. 1 month later, Kaido is bound to be caught. The curly-haired old man glared at him, gritted his teeth. Luyun can't afford to offend. Shinluo can't afford to offend, but this Kaido is just a soft persimmon, and the curly-haired old man intends to vent all the aggrieved feelings from Shinluo Luyun to this Kaido kid. Although it's not a scapegoat, Kaido was shot dead too. Kaido didn't know, he was about to face disaster soon. New World. On a small island. There is a large warship parked here, and there are dozens of pirates on the warship. A burly man with a pair of horns on his head, half-naked, muscular, black shawl, long beard, and a scaly tattoo on his left arm jumped directly from the warship. Boom. The whole person fell to the ground with a sudden, huge and burly body, directly smashing a deep hole in the ground. Chapter 195. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hey, kid, come and help the labor and management, this box is so heavy. As the warship drew ashore, a pirate directly called dozens of pirates on the island. Suddenly, many pirates swarmed up to carry the things on it. Hurry up. Move all the boxes down. It's so heavy, what's in it? Why does the boss go out and bring so many things back? Stop talking nonsense. It must be a good thing. If you let you move, you just move, where is so much nonsense? Wow. Suddenly a pirate's feet were unstable and fell directly to the ground. The box turned over and Bailey fell to the ground. So many Baileys. Boss, this is the robbery. A pirate saw Bailey spilled on the ground, his eyes light up, they piled up into mountains one by one, so that people couldn't open their eyes. This money, where did it come from? FK. So much. It's horrible. Our captain is too strong. If these boxes are all Pele, how many billions are there? My God, I really have meat to eat with the boss. Little ones, work harder, and the boss will definitely reward us for drinking at night. 660. Advertisement. Oh, on the warship, several pirates were carrying things openly. All of them looked excited and motivated. They were carried off the warship. Boss. Kaido ignored the little ghosts and went ashore alone. Behind him a tall man with yellow hair jumped from the battleship and shouted. This person has 2 pigtails, a burly figure, 8-pack abdominal muscles are uneven, a bandage is wrapped around the wrist, 2 white ivory on both sides of the ears are vertically upward, and there are 2 thicker white ivory in front of him. Under the scorching sun, shone with cold light. He is a member of Kaido's admiral, one of the 3 major disasters, Jack the Drow. But now Jack the Drow is much younger than in the original book, and there is no mature charm. Jack the Drow is Kaido's effective stop. The bounty in the future will be as high as 1 billion, but now Jack the Dro's bounty is only around 3 or 4 billion, which is far from the future Jack the Dro. Jack the Dro jumped off the battleship, came to Captain Kaido, and asked, "Boss, with so many bounties, our pirate group has made a big deal. And also got 2 devil fruits. If these 2 devil fruit has good abilities and will definitely create 2 powerful abilities. When the boss punches Whitebeard and kicks Roger, you will become the strongest One Piece. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Punch Whitebeard. Kick Roger. I'm Kaido to be the strongest creature in the world. What a Whitebeard Roger." Kaido said disdainfully, and then asked, "Jack, take those robbed Baileys, I want to buy devil fruit. I want to build a zone ability army. When the time comes, the government will be destroyed, the strong in this world, I am going to single out one by one, then who can stop me?" Jack the Dro heard this. Cold sweat, his own boss ideal is really different. "Boss, you go to naval headquarters alone this time." Fortunately, the little one got the news in time. Otherwise, the boss will definitely be in greater trouble. "Hey, Jack, didn't Lousy tell you? I'm Kaido going to single out naval headquarters. Why are you kidding? You have to take these little girls to join in the fun." Kaido thought of this. The kid supported him, and felt a little unhappy in his heart. Is he Kaido the kind of person who bullies the less by more? This one-on-one match, it can be said that it is not too addictive. Kaido is very dissatisfied. Advertisement. "Boss, I'm not worried about you being caught by naval headquarters." Jack the Dro was sweating from behind, uneasy. "Lousy is so unbearable." Kaido glared at Jack angrily, and said, "The door is wicked. Did naval headquarters have noticed that Lousy is going to attack, so they drove away in advance? The huge naval headquarters, even look at it. There are no people on the eye, there are only 2 marine lieutenants, it's not enough to stuff their teeth between their teeth." Kaido murmured, and suddenly thought of something. His face turned to Jack the Dro and said, "Jack, go and search, where are the admiral marshals of naval headquarters this time? The old thing, Gangukong, doesn't seem like a soft egg." "Boss, this time I robbed so many Baileys from naval headquarters, and even destroyed dozens of their warships. Will they send someone to chase us?" Jack looked wary and felt a little uneasy. Chasing. Lousy is going to be the strongest creature in the sea, land, and air in the future. Will he be afraid of a small naval headquarters? They chase and kill Lousy in trouble. Come one. Lousy fight one. Come a couple. Lousy all tied up. Kaido was proud and said to Jack, "By the way, next time naval headquarters comes to an admiral or a marshal, you kid can't interfere. No matter how many people are, I have to deal with it alone. I'm afraid it's not good. Boss. The opponent is naval headquarters, too strong. What are you afraid of? Even if Lousy let them fight, they might not be able to kill me." Kaido said confidently, and then entered the center of the island. At this time, countless pirates walked out of the simple building with excitement. Headed by 2 tall men. One of the clothes was fluttering, smelling of a breeze, with loose hair, tall and strong, and grinning, but he was very fierce, ruining all the beauty just now. Wind disaster. Moose. The other has better skin, white as snow, but with long hair, and the well-developed muscles are shining against the backdrop. Advertisement. Flood. Barney. Boss. Boss. Seeing Kaido approaching, everyone gave up the road and let Kaido pass. Little ghosts. Jack. This time the boss attacked naval headquarters, nothing went wrong, right? The Typhoon Moose hugged Hungarian in both hands and asked with interest. What can go wrong? Our boss is the strongest creature. Although he is not very famous now, I firmly believe that the boss will become a strong like Roger and Whitebeard. Barney. Is Lousy so unbearable? Is Whitebeard strong? Lousy will go to him now. Hearing this, Kaido came up with a tendon again, turned and walked out. Hey, boss, don't worry, you just came back, take a rest and go. Yes, boss, you are gone, naval headquarters is attacking our pirate group, without the boss guarding it, it can't be suppressed at all. Jack the Dro's thoughts turned sharply, and he hurriedly said such a reason. If he didn't rush to stop, Kaido's boss would definitely go heads up with Whitebeard again and be beaten by others. Chapter 196. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. You guys resist temporarily, I'll go back. Kaido looked persistent, and was about to go out before taking a break. Jack the Drow heard the words and wiped his cold sweat. His boss is still unreliable as always. He goes to single-handedly challenge the strong in this world all day long. Although he has never died, he can be taught by the strong like Whitebeard Roger. If you are going heads up with Whitebeard, Whitebeard's shock ability will not be able to shake out his boss's shit. This is by no means wise. Regardless of how miserable the old conference was taught, the key is that Kaido has just lifted naval headquarters upside down. Gengukong will definitely not sit back and watch this matter. Now it must be repairing the army, maybe it will be in a few days. Binline is down. If Kaido is allowed to leave, it is very likely that the Three Plagues will face the crazy bombardment of naval headquarters. If two admirals come, they may be able to resist, but with the addition of martial-level powerhouses such as Gengukong and Garp, they must undoubtedly defeated. Boss, there is not much difference between the strengths of Gengukong and Whitebeard. Would you bear to miss this important opportunity? And this time, Gengukong will definitely not come alone. There must be Garp and Sengoku, these two you don't want to be. Can you? Garp, Sengoku. Kaido stopped walking when he heard the words. He looked curious, his eyes glowed brightly, and he grinned. Hey, then Lousy will let Whitebeard go for now, and wait for Sengoku and Garp to come. Old fellow, I have never played against it. Okay, boss, let's fix it for now. Jack the Drow wiped his cold sweat and finally stopped Kaido. Otherwise, this guy must go to the world to commit suicide again. Suicide is okay, but every time the Kaido pirates are required to rescue them again. Isn't this Tai Nyong's Three Plagues very painful? Advertisement. Moreover, after Kaido was rescued, he stared at the Three Plagues fiercely, saying what labor and management could go, and who asked you to save me? It's a big head when you think about it, so you have to stabilize Kaido. Fortunately, they brought Kaido back. Let's go. Lousy made a lot of money in grabbing naval headquarters this time. These two devil fruits, you will reward the younger ones. There are two more capable ones, which are better than those without skills. The devil fruit in the snow must be extraordinary. Kaido said boldly, and with a big wave of his hand, the two densely threaded fruits were thrown into the air and caught by Jack the Drow. Yes, boss. Jack the Drow nodded and agreed, and immediately stored the two devil fruits, and later rewarded the two devil fruits to his subordinates. Go. Lousy is happy today, go for a drink. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. New World, the Holy Land Mary Geois. After Gang Gukong led his men to escape, a colorful flash appeared on the lobby here. Advertisement. The old man with curly hair, the bald old man, and the old man with a vertical beard all sat on the chairs, quietly watching the scene in front of them. After a while, this colorful light became more and more shining. After a while, in the center of Guanghua, a human figure slowly condensed out. Gradually, the figure appeared. This man's beige hair and beard looked extremely weak, and the corners of his mouth white, as if severely injured. You're back. The curly-haired old man looked at the figure in the middle of the hall and said solemnly. Yeah. The beige-haired old man lay on the ground embarrassedly, his hands and feet lost his strength, and he snorted like a gossamer. Immediately, the curly-haired old man appeared on his right hand with a glorious light, which wrapped the beige-haired old man, slowly lifted him, and placed him on the table. Tell me, how did he die? The curly-haired old man stared in his eyes, a powerful aura enveloping the entire hall. Any clues would never escape his observation. This is also to ensure safety. The secrets that only the 5 of them know must not be eavesdropped on by others, but now, there are only 4 of them left. Luyun. I ran into Luyun during the pickup of the Tianlongren. The beige-haired old man gasped weakly and spit out a word. I know you met Luyun. What I asked was, how did he die? The beige-haired old man's eyes were dizzy, recalling the scene at the time, fought a cold war, and then said, he is the devil. Luyun sucked out the fruit of his life, and lost the fruiting ability, so he died. Up. What's a joke? Can you still suck out the fruit of life? Even the strongest dark fruit can't swallow the fruit of life, this is absolutely impossible. The curly-haired old man denied it, and a blazing fire burned in his eyes. Advertisement. Don't believe it. But it's the truth. I have seen it with my own eyes. Luyun sucked out the fruit of his life. How is this possible? Looking at the beige and red-haired old man, he didn't mean to be joking. He stared at him and couldn't believe it. All the devil fruits in this world and the abilities of these devil fruits, it is clear that there is no devil fruit that restrains the fruit of life, and there is no ability to suck the fruit of life. Even the dark fruit can only suck other abilities on him, but the dark fruit is right. The fruit of life is completely invalid. How is this possible? 0. The curly-haired old man stared at everyone present in an unbelievable manner, a little unbelievable. Luyun not only absorbed the power of the fruit of life, but also reshaped the shape of the fruit of life, which is exactly the same as the last bite of the fruit of life at that time. The beige-haired old man threw a blockbuster again. Luyun. Damn Luyun. Why does he have this ability? What kind of family is his family? The curly-haired old man was very angry, and he snapped the table in front of him to pieces. The old man with beige hair is reborn, but after being reborn, he has a fatal weakness, extremely weak. And the old man with a sword, because Qin Luo took the fruit of life, he turned into fly ashes directly. One of the 5 elders who died is nothing to Qin Luo, but for 5 elders, it is undoubtedly a disaster. Moreover, they understand that Luyun has mastered a certain secret technique and can directly transfer their devil fruit, the ability to be sucked out. The news received made 5 elders panic. How to deal with this matter? If Luyun can really swallow the fruit of our lives, we are probably lambs to be slaughtered in his eyes. The curly-haired old man sat on the chair with a solemn expression. Chapter 197. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. This incident is the most important thing. They have lived for 800 years. No matter what happened at the beginning, even the rise of Whitebeard, the dominance of Roger, and the rampant golden lion were all under the control of the world government, but the flow of clouds was a short time. The rise to fame not only threatened the status of 5 elders, but Luyun even clung to their dead spots. It is conceivable that 5 elders can't wait for this kind of deadlock in the hands of others. If there is a war, 5 elders has no certainty to win. However, if the dynamism ceases and the matter is kept in mind, it is not a perfect solution. If they are torn apart in the future, their 5 elders is still not the pork on the chopping board, and they will not be slaughtered by then. What dominance and longevity are we talking about? No, we can't wait and die for this matter. We must contact Qin Luo immediately. Although this kid is also a member of this mysterious family, since he is not right with Luyun, he is our person for the time being, as long as we can kill it with Qin Luo's hand. Luyun, our danger is temporarily resolved. Big brother, can Qin Luo beat Luyun? Although I also agree with Qin Luo's abilities, Luyun has great power in his hands, and everyone with super abilities can be used by him. In case Qin Luo is defeated, doesn't this become our urging spell? I can't control that much for now. The curly-haired old man waved his hand, interrupted the old man with a vertical beard, and then called a dead waiter in. Deadpool entered the hall, knelt on one knee, with a solemn expression, bowed his head and said, "My lord, what's your order?" "Go. Notify CP0, and search Qin Luo's whereabouts at this time. Remember, if you see Qin Luo himself, you must invite Qin Luo over. Remember, please, don't do it," the curly-haired old man repeatedly urged. Worried about what went wrong. Advertisement. Yes, my lord. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. I've been sent to the nest. If this steel bone empty knows, I'm afraid I will be pissed to death. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It's really floating cloud. How can floating cloud appear in the Chambord Islands? Master. The Fishman Island is in front. Several of the sharp-eyed pirates saw the black cloud red robe and couldn't help screaming. What did I see? Red cloud, black robe. Flow. Luyun. Why didn't you get killed when you singled out so many powerhouses? One of the pirates who heard strangely asked with suspicion. A beard with a scar on his face laughed, took a sip of wine, and said with relish. What's the matter with the Lieutenant General? Kaido has 3 major disasters. Each of them is super powerful. The bounty is 300 to 400 million yuan. Fake. Don't say. We really met one last time. No, that kid was also wearing a red cloud and black robe last time, but he also said that he is not Luyun, and he heard that the kid went there for a while. Go to the world government and beat one of the 5 elders to death. 3.4 inches. Damn. This is true. This guy Kaido is too fierce. That's Lieutenant General Marine, who will also use Marine 6 styles. Advertisement. You know the Lieutenant General of Naval Headquarters. I heard that the 2 lieutenants resisted Kaido. Kaido didn't do anything. The 2 lieutenants used finger pistol from Marine 6 styles and directly poked their hands. A good story. Remembering the last time I took Tautu and knocked this stuff out, Shin Luo couldn't help laughing. Hey, I heard that this Kaido body is very strong. At first, Whitebeard caught this person, but didn't chop off Kaido's head with his own sword. In the end, Whitebeard had no choice but to imprison him and torture him. Eating a lot of food and drinking a lot of wine, Whitebeard couldn't help but threw him on an island in the end, regardless. Not long after, the 2 entered the Fishmen Island. Well, let's go. Shin Luo nodded and said indifferently. Immediately, the 2 took a gentle step, but it was already tens of meters away. Ha ha ha, this Kaido is also a weird thing. He often singles out some strong players, such as Whitebeard and Roger. They are brutally beaten every time. They still don't repent. There was a lively discussion in the Chambord place. Shin Luo was wearing a black cloud red robe and walking with Uchiha Itachi on the street, and then heard news about Kaido. Chambord Islands. Here is close to Naval Headquarters Malinfin, so after more than 10 days of fermentation, Chambord Islands is telling about a pirate attacking Naval Headquarters no matter where. Hey, have you heard? That Kaido went to singles again. I heard that Kaido was going to single-handedly challenge the Marshal Gangukong at Naval Headquarters. However, Gangukong and the backbone of Naval Headquarters went to New World to redeem people, so Kaido inexplicably took the nest. Uchiha Itachi looked up and saw that in the area originally occupied by the 2 islands, 2 large black holes emerged, deep and bottomless, and countless ships passed through the holes and slowly fell. Grass, labor and management eat more salt than you can walk. Little pirate, the old man still needs your guidance. Are you scared of being a labor and management? This is the god of flowing clouds. Don't tease me. Powerful people like Flowing Cloud will appear in this place. Let me see it. Maybe someone who pretends to be the god of flowing clouds. Advertisement. As the red cloud and black robe so strong. Later, I will also let the man wear a red cloud and black robe. Isn't that walking sideways in this world? This is the great undersea tunnel. Shin Luo spent some points to redeem it. Flowing clouds. Deadpool nodded, and immediately got up and retreated. The space fluctuated and disappeared into the hall. Luyun. The god in my heart. Wait for me. Give me an autograph. Hearing the scream, several pirates immediately turned their eyes, and then looked in the direction of the pirates' fingers, and suddenly saw the 2 figures in front of them. Boy, you don't want to live anymore. This is guarded by the Marine branch, and the Marine headquarters is not far from here. If you don't want to die, just shut your mouth. So strong. Whitebeard's sword can't be killed. Someone suddenly stared in horror when he heard the words, and didn't believe his ears. Shin Luo didn't care about the conversations between some pirates and civilians, and quickly shuttled away from the Chambord Islands with Uchiha Itachi, and then walked on the sea. He is also a strong player. This time he attacked Naval Headquarters, he must have robbed a lot of things. Kaido. Has this guy grown to this point in a few months? You can have a meal with him in the storm later. You may walk sideways, or maybe you can walk sideways, and you will be caught by Naval Headquarters. Advertisement. Chapter 198. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this moment, outside of the Fishmen Island, several huge pirate boats are docked. The other pirate boats nearby, compared with this huge pirate boat, are like a few toy boats, small and pitiful. On the huge pirate ship, a huge flag was fluttering in the wind. On the flag was an ugly skull with a hat on his head, heavy makeup on the skull, thick lips with lipstick, and a smile, but not only does it have no sense of beauty, but it also expands the ugliness of the face countless times. After seeing it, it makes people nauseous. Bigumum. Chin Luo looked at the pirate ship docked on the Fishman Island, and the corner of his mouth suddenly ticked. It seems that Pigum has offered himself a deal again. At this time, the island was full of people, and the people of the Fishman Island were all waiting in battle, looking at the dark shadows in front of them as if they were facing an enemy. On the two giant pirate ships, dozens of artillery are placed on both sides, and the firepower of the naval headquarters is almost the same as that of the naval headquarters. The four Emperors level powerhouses in this world should be almost the same as the Shadow level powerhouses in the Naruto world. The future dessert 4-star, hereby stated, it was originally a 4-star, but Charlotte Snug was defeated in the battle with the monk Yerki, and was removed from the 4-star. Charlotte Kata the courier bounty is 1.057 million Baileys, and the Charlotte Cracker bounty is 860 million. Advertisement. Quote, Kata Curry. It's obviously my ship's first arrival. Explain in this way. The Capone Beige last time, in front of Bagumum, is not even a dog. Is it clear that I put it this way? For this madman, everyone shuddered and did not dare to compete head to head with her. There are many members in her family. Even the big pirates of New World, Whitebeard or Roger, are not as large as the Charlotte Linlin family. One reason is Charlotte Linlin. Life is rotten. There is a powerful harem, and even gave birth to pirates with every man. Charlotte Linlin has children more diligent than pigs, but no one dared to mention this matter. All was suppressed by Charlotte Linlin's rule. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. In addition to the strange force fist, there are few pitiful methods that can be used. She doesn't know the strength of Bigumum, but the strength of Grandpa Senju Hashirama is clear. It's broken this time. Something big is going to happen. This Charlotte Linlin is not easy to provoke. It is said that Charlotte destroyed the giant village when she was 5 years old and killed the hero of the giants in a flash. 13 is called a natural destroyer. Offended Charlotte Linlin, no matter who it is, it will have a headache. On the other boat, another person also jumped out. This person was wearing a helmet decorated with tandem manes. On both sides of the helmet, there were biscuit-decorated bases. His body was a black and white biscuit-style armor. The belt had the words bis and a beard. Pointed and long, holding a sword, wearing a cloak, and a large biscuit shield on his back, it looks like a general. Both of them are members of the Baguma Pirates. 2 members of Charlotte Linlin, Admiral, are here. Bigumum is here. Advertisement. Countless pirates are whispering and are preparing to find a good time to slip away. If they don't slip away, I am afraid they will face Charlotte Linlin's anger. What? Bigumum. Broken. The last time God killed her son, he must have come to find the place. Who is Whitebeard? Tsunade's delicate eyes were even more puzzled, and his eyebrows were slightly raised. Peach Rabbit, is this Pigumum very strong? Tsunade folded his arms around his chest, with doubts in his beautiful eyes. He is not familiar with this world, so he is very vague about the strong here. After all, it is a support level life. Even her own summoning beast is of a healing type, and its combat power must be much weaker. But at this time, 20 years ago, these two guys were very tender, and the bounty had just exceeded 300 million, but the bounty of 300 million was also a strong one under Bigumum, and was in charge of the family's importance thing. It is rumored that this mad woman even kills her own sons and daughters. If it were you, would you be able to do it? As that's so. It really hurts. Capone Beige is already very strong. If I let me deal with it, I am afraid it will take some time. If Capone Beige doesn't even have the qualifications to carry shoes for Begum, then this Begum, it must be a powerful person like Grandpa. Tsunade blinked in beautiful eyes, frowned, lowered his head, and murmured. This person is wearing a pair of black gloves with a thorn ring on his left arm. He is wearing black jeans, a white knee pad on his left knee, and a pair of black boots with thorns. There are spurs on the back of the boots. He is also holding a trident in his hand. A smile on his face was 910. Not only that, she is also extremely addicted to sweets. She is a terrible figure who can mobilize and conquer a country for sweets. It is rumored that she will specifically ask for the place of her territory, and she will pay her sweets every month. As long as the territory fails to deliver desserts once, it will face the crisis of extinction. Last time a country known for its baked goods was set on fire by the people of Bigmom. Yo ha ha. So many people are greeted. It's really lively. Cracker, it's my ship first. A man jumped from one of the Pigum pirate ships. This man was tall and tall. He has short black hair, strong muscles, long legs, and scars on his cheeks. There are tattoos on his left arm and upper body, and a skull tattoo on his left arm. The overall costume is full of strong black metal style. Advertisement. Ha ha ha. Bigmom has lost his money this time. Charlotte Katakuri and Charlotte Cracker. 2 stars, although they are not as good as Bigmom, they are still good enough to see. Yes. Chin Luo put on a mask and smiled lightly. He is very familiar with these 2 people. In short, Tsunade has the strength of the shadow class, but it is also based on the treatment aspect. In terms of fighting alone, she is somewhat different from Jiraiya and Orochimaru. Now, in the atmosphere of the Fishman Island's waiting list, Taotu and Tsunade are standing in front with their dignified eyes. When Fisher Tiger heard that a giant pirate ship had arrived at the Fishman Island, he immediately came out to check it out. When he saw Charlotte Linlin's pirate flag flying, his pupils suddenly shrank. Who dared to disobey Charlotte Linlin? That is really no different from looking for death. Even his own children will not let it go. Is it so cruel? It seems that the Fishman Island can't stay anymore. You have to leave this place of right and wrong as soon as possible. Sister, Bigmom is very strong, not much different from Whitebeard. This matter is complicated, but no matter what, the old man will definitely not sit back and watch. Hexia Jinbei stretched out his hands and whizzed out with a righteous attitude, staring straight ahead. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. What's the matter? Is Bigmom really here? This is Bigmom's pirate ship. Advertisement. Chapter 199. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Kata coolly walked down from the pirate ship, holding the trident, and scanned the Fishman Island. Cracker. This flowing cloud can be regarded as a personal thing. It has such a powerful energy to connect the Chambordian Islands with the Fishman Island, and you can enter the Fishman Island in one day. It is a lot more convenient. Li Yuan has a stable personality and is a wise general among the 4 generals. What's this? Mom also has this ability, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it for such a troublesome thing without any benefit. A fool would do it. Indeed. Kata Curry nodded nonchalantly and nodded towards the army of the Fishman Island, which was like a big enemy. The countless little pirates behind him jumped off the boat clamoringly, one by one fierce and evil, watching the show. The Fishman Island children. At this time, Kata Curry was like a king, overlooking the Fishman Island. Tell me, where is your god? Also, where is my brother locked up? Kata Curry. Don't ask, I have already seen my brother. Cracker drew out the sword and looked at the Fishman Island, a huge boulder with a smile. Above, there are 2 figures nailed, one is Capone Beige, the other is naturally his stupid brother, Charlotte Nins. Nings, let my brother see what kind of crime you have suffered. Cracker laughed, and smiled heartlessly, as if the death of Charlotte Nins did not make him feel any sadness. It's no wonder that the entire Charlotte family, but their sons, there are hundreds of them, and even their mothers are still expanding their production. If they don't die a dozen every year, their family will definitely become a mess. Tuan. So, Charlotte Cracker didn't feel the slightest sadness about his brother's death. As they said, the 2 lightly tapped the ground at the same time, their bodies suddenly lifted up, and headed towards the giant stone of rules. After seeing Charlotte Ninza's body in good condition, Cracker couldn't help but exclaimed, "This method is really strong. If it hadn't been for me to learn from my mother that Charlotte Nins was dead, I would have been confused by the phenomenon in front of me. This method is indeed strong, and Capone Beige is so dead." Kata Curry looked curious, and was able to kill Capone Beige, who had the ability to build the city's fruit. What kind of strong the enemy was. Although Kata Curry thinks that Luyun is a strong one, he thinks that the strength to survive is at the level of 500 million Baileys, otherwise, his mother would not send the two of them. This kid, he will die. It's just that the corpse is made into a specimen and placed in the public. This is to slap his mother in the face. Cracker said, the long sword in his hand smashed vertically, banging. He slashed on Charlotte Nins in an attempt to destroy him. Advertisement. Boom. As the long sword slashed on Charlotte Ninza's body suddenly shot out a strong light, and directly bounced the long sword away, and a light wave rushed out, directly sweeping the unsuspecting Kotaku. Lee and Cracker. Boom. Boom. Master, what are the 4 stars? Uchiha Itachi turned his head and asked. Haha, this is the second time I have heard of Luyun's name. The first time was from my mother. The second time, you told me in person that Luyun is the new refuge god of the Fishman Island. When Neptune is so ignorant, looking for a stunned boy as a refuge god, it is better to find a mother. The worst, you can also find me. Cracker sneered and said with a look of disdain. You. What are you? Uchiha Itachi stepped out and stood in front of Chin Luo, asking for Chin Luo. Listening to the call like a vast sea, Katakuri smiled and looked at the person in front of him and asked. When Cracker heard this, he was furious, and the long sword that had just been retracted suddenly pulled out, stepped on the ground and shot out. The long sword flickered with cold light, and went straight to Chin Luo. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Chin Luo completely ignored the noise in the rear, but looked at the 2 stars in front of him with curiosity. Me. I'm one of the 4 great stars, Admiral, a member of the Baguma Pirates, my mother's son. What do you call me? What a thing. Asshole. Stop. Labor and capital will smash you to death today. Cracker saw that Chin Luo had no birds at all, and couldn't help being furious. The long sword was also quickly pointed out, and it was close to Chin Luo's mouth, just half a meter. Uchiha Itachi's figure flickered out, directly blocking Chin Luo's body, and the long sword passed directly through Uchiha Itachi's Hungarian lying. Advertisement. The Cracker was so rampant that he didn't pay attention to Uchiha Itachi in the slightest. Uchiha Itachi lightly tapped his head, and then looked at the Cracker in front of him with an aloof expression. Asshole. Hey, 2 stars, wait to be crushed by Luyun God. In his opinion, using the body to block the sword is simply looking for death. Exactly. My celebrity goes. God has finally come. Although God has the ability to resurrect from the dead, I really don't want to experience death. King Neptune also patted Shang lying down, taking a long breath. Itachi, leave it to you. It's a mere fish, it's not worth my shot. After Chin Luo finished speaking, he walked towards the 2 younger sisters on the Fishman Island. You are Luyun. Oh, are you interested in me? Asshole. You actually said lousy miscellaneous fish. It's almost death. It turned out to be restricted on the body. Haha, I suddenly became a little interested in Luyun. Kata Curry smiled and stood up, patted the dust on his body. Before anyone saw it, he let him eat it. Convection Luyun. The mysterious man became more and more curious. God. God is back. Advertisement. Yes. Master. Idiot. When Cracker saw this, the corner of his mouth snapped, mocking coldly. The Murloc along looked admired and respectfully said to Luyun. At this moment, Chin Luo stepped out before appearing in front of Kata Curry and Cracker. Looking at the 2 embarrassed figures, Chin Luo stood with his hands behind his hands, and the strong breath spread out, shocking the audience. Oh, really? Uchiha Itachi smiled weirdly, and immediately regained his arrogance again. Then, his whole body turned into a black crow with red eyes, flapping its wings and flying around. The sound of quack 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 spread all over the place. Here. And Fisher Tiger, the future seaman Jinbei, and the fish people are relieved, as long as there are flowing clouds to protect them, whether it is Bigum or Whitebeard, all get down. Cracker widened his pupils, looked at all this in disbelief, and said in surprise, "What kind of ghost power is this?" The two were shot directly out, like two artillery shells, slamming heavily on the ground, shocking the dust on the ground. Cracker was clutching Hungarian's mouth, his biscuit armor was broken, and immediately, it was restored to its original state in an instant. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. As God. 4 generals. Chin Luo raised his head slightly, thought for a moment, and smiled. It's just a bunch of miscellaneous fish. Wow. That's it. The Fishman Island is saved this time. Not seeing you for a while, it feels like 3 autumns. Advertisement. Chapter 200. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The blood crows gathered together and transformed into Uchiha Itachi's figure. The cold storage's face was a touch of murderous air, and he calmly looked at the 2 people in front of him. Fire style. Great fireball technique. Uchiha Itachi made a seal with both hands, and his right hand held the side of his face. A blast of flame shot out, turning into a long dragon, and swept toward the Cracker. Damn ability. Cracker irritably drew out his new sword Pretzel, covering it with armament hockey, and immediately, his body shot out, slashing into the sea of fire in front of him. Boom. Cut it down. The sound of fierce flame beating resounded, and saw the original long dragon-like flame, split in 2 by Cracker. The 2 pillars of fire were separated and shot in 2 directions, and the center was as high as thousands of temperatures. The heat made Cracker's biscuit armor and long sword so weak. The most hateful thing was his new sword, the Pretzel, which clicked and melted into one piece. Damn, annoying ability. With his body retreated, Cracker shook off his corrupted biscuit armor, and put on new clothes, but his mouth was still chattering bitterly. Ha 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 ha. Cracker, this kid's ability just overwhelms you. You are a biscuit, and they happen to be a flame. You are bake with water. Keita coolly talked coldly and laughed. Huh. It's just a coincidence. Watch me kill him 540. Come out. Cookie soldier. After Cracker roared, his figure suddenly rose up. A large amount of biscuit armor immediately covered Cracker's body, and the sturdy armament hockey completely wrapped the armor. Be enlightened. Bastard. Cracker's eyes widened and his hands waved forward. Suddenly, countless biscuit armor fell from Cracker's sturdy body. After landing, they turned into biscuit soldiers, holding a long sword in his hand, and moving forward. Rushed. Ha ha ha, have you used this ability in a hurry? Keita Curry stood aside, watching the show. Advertisement. This biscuit soldier is indeed a difficult thing. Fire style. Great fireball technique. Fire style. Phoenix fire technique. Fire style. Dragon flame jutsu. Water style. Water fangs. Suddenly, Uchiha Itachi's hands quickly formed seals, and flames spewed out one after another, directly engulfing the entire army of biscuits. The flames rose, extremely terrifying, and the temperature at the center was enough to burn the biscuits into slag. Even after the flames passed, water bullets suddenly bounced on the ground, bursting into the sky, destroying all the biscuit soldiers. Cracker's moves were completely killed by Uchiha Itachi. Asshole. I must kill you today. Seeing all the proud army of biscuits were destroyed, Cracker's anger rose sharply, and he killed him with a sword. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Ignorant human beings. Uchiha Itachi spoke indifferently, and then Sharingan flew around quickly, and in an instant, it completely turned into Mangekyo Sharingan. His pupils suddenly enlarged, and a burst of unquestionable energy spread out wildly. Amaterasu. Well, I'll take care of this 9-tails monster fox. Cracker and Keita Curry were not successful with a single blow, but his pupils were radiating cold light, and he looked forward slightly surprised. Chin Luo sneered, bit his index finger lightly, a puff of blood came out. Chin Luo quickly formed a seal and pressed it directly on the ground. Advertisement. Hey, Cracker, are you okay? You were completely crushed and beaten. Let your mother know that you will definitely get angry again. Keita Curry couldn't help shook his head and stood up and said, In this way, we two will join hands. Let's get rid of him first. If Luyun has such a reputation, the kid in front of him is helping him. Roll pretzel. Charlotte Kata Curry sneered, and directly activated the Paramesha glutinous fruit ability. Boom. Damn. Labor and management are most afraid of pain. How dare you irritate labor and management? Cracker is still very young now, is an obvious thorn, and speaks unceremoniously. The heart couldn't help but tremble. Cracker raised his head and looked into Uchiha Itachi's eyes. Suddenly, the whole person was sucked in by Uchiha Itachi's strange pupils. When he reacted, his biscuit armor was already burning with pitch black. The flames rose swiftly and violently. 2-1. Chin Luo looked from a distance, moved his mind, and said to Kata Curry, Kata Curry, you want to do it, I have a subordinate, so I won't fight with your brother. If you think about it, just say directly, there are too many strong people here. What is this? Hexia Jinbei frowned, feeling uncomfortable. I'm afraid so. Looking at this body shape, it's hard to deal with. I'll just hit this kid just now. On the field, a white smoke emerged, and then the huge body of Nine Tails flickered, the scarlet chakra surrounded the whole body, and the extremely evil aura quickly penetrated into the human body. Kata coolly intends to make a quick decision, let the cracker do it, it is difficult to suppress the opponent. The long sword covered with armament haki shone with cold light, emitting a spiral of sword energy. Asshole. Does he still have men? Which one do you fight this time? Asshole. You are not allowed to do it. Seeing that Kata Curry had rushed towards Uchiha Itachi, he immediately glared, gritted his teeth and followed, and the long sword pierced Uchiha Itachi. Advertisement. Yes, master. Nine Tails turned her head and smiled evilly, her hair standing up with her cunning look. Boom. Ah. Damn. It hurts. Cracker couldn't help but roared, and the long sword in his hand slashed directly at the biscuit armor. Suddenly, the biscuit arm broke apart, and was quickly swept by the black flame and burned. Seeing this, Kata Curry, regardless of Cracker's roar, turned into a long belt and swept toward Uchiha Itachi. This is the Demon Fox. Nine Tails Demon Fox. Zone Devil Fruit. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. HMPH, whatever he cares about, as long as you dare to get in your mother's way. Go and die. It stretched out directly and swept towards Nine Tails. Nine Tails, go up and kill him. What's a joke? What labor and management hate is that others help me? You don't need to do it, I can solve him alone. You stand there and don't interfere with me. Cracker heard that Kata Curry would do it, staring anxiously. Katakuri glanced, and the long sword in his hand quickly pierced out. Cracker, whether you are angry or not, get rid of this kid first. Nine Tails. Tsunade whispered. After seeing the figure of Nine Tails, Tsunade knew that the two boys from the Charlotte family were going to be unlucky. Huh, Mom, what an evil breath. Summoning technique. Cracker's arrogant and domineering roar directly directed at Uchiha Itachi, who had once again condensed and formed. Kata Curry, it's troublesome this time. It looks like I've kicked the iron this time.